It's a gorgeous day here in Bloomington, Indiana for some college football. Out of the MAC comes Bowling Green, 2-0 on this young season to take on a 1-1 Indiana team thirsty for some success here at home. Tom Hart alongside John Congemi. I hope you like offense. Two very dynamic offenses go head-to-head. Winner may be the first one to 40 today.
That's what I was thinking, Tom. If you get in the high 30s or 40s, you should feel secure as an offense, because Bowling Green, if they can average around 38 points or get to that, that's what they average on a weekly basis, they should be in good shape with the way they play defense.
Well, they are multiple dimensional offense. Travis Green has taken over running back. The converted wide receiver can make people miss.
He's very good in space, and that's what the starter and Matt Johnson's going to need from his running attack. A little bit of balance today. 46 attempts or over 230 yards. He's a guy that secures the football. He's very elusive in between the tackles. Once he gets a crease, he can take it the distance. As you see, he leads the MAC in rushing yards. It's one of those guys, Tom, that if he can create any kind of balance to the offense and help out Matt Johnson, they will have success offensively.
Bowling Green won the toss. They elect to defer, so Indiana will receive, and the Falcons will put a great defense on the field to start. Garrett Welch takes this one out past the 25 to about the 28-yard line. Boo Boo Gates with the special teams tackle. And the Hoosiers will be led by Nate Sudfeld today, tied for second in the FBS with 8 touchdown passes.
And Tom, he's very good with his eyes discipline in the pocket. He can look you off. He can be accurate down the football field. He's not a guy that's afraid to push the envelope down the field. He's got great size at 6'5", but he's going to make his first collegiate start here. The numbers are terrific. He just needs to continue to build on those numbers.
And one number we'll keep our eye on today will be the clock. Indiana wants to be fast, and they think they have the right quarterback to do that in Sudfeld. A handoff on first down, and going the wrong way is Tevin Coleman. This will be a loss of 1.5. One of Indiana's issues last week when Trey Roberson got the start was missed assignments and penalties up front on the first series. Before they came out for a third possession, they're already down to Navy 14-0. Sudfeld lets it go complete. That's a touchdown scoring tight end, Ted Bolzer, who picks up a first down and a gain of 12. Rylan Ward with the stop.
Well, that'll be a guy that will impact this offense from the tight end position. Ted Bolzer, he creates mismatches with his size, and then Cody Latimer on the outside, he needs to find a way to get involved in the offense.
This is another carry for Coleman. He picks up 4. Zach Colvin with the stop up front for Bowling Green. So Indiana quickly on the ball. Another quick snap and another running opportunity for Coleman out of the Chicago area, and he picks up 3 that time. Gabe Martin with the stop. Let's take another look at our impact players if the Hoosiers allow us time.
Well, Boo Boo Gates from the secondary, he makes plays against the run. He's going to have to impact that balance that Indiana is going to create. And Goebel on the outside replacing Walker, he's going to have to be good in space in coverage against the slot receivers for Indiana.
They've got the tight end Bolzer split out to the right side. He's in a slot position now, and a whistle and a stop. Bowling Green wants a timeout. Pardon me, Indiana wants a timeout. This is a Hoosiers offense which led the Big Ten in passing last season, and one of the reasons they're able to put up big numbers, they get a lot of snaps, 20 seconds or fewer per play since the start of last year, and Indiana right there with some of the most dynamic offenses in college football.
Tom, it's amazing when you look at that list, and Indiana trying to create a little bit of havoc, I guess, on the offense with their tempo, with their pace. And you hear the Houstons of the world and Baylor and Oregon doing those things. But Indiana, under Kevin Wilson, their head coach, they're going to want to go to that highest tempo they have today, because they haven't done that this year. They've been fast, but there's even a faster tempo, and they have to rely on those officials to get the ball spotted so they can go fast.
Opening week of the season against Indiana State, their first 9 touchdown drives averaged 61 seconds per drive. In a game where they put up 632 yards of total offense, the 3rd most in school history. They were over 300, both rushing and passing, in the same game for the first time. Stephen Houston is the running back now for Indiana. He gets his first touch, and he's got room for a first down, and he bowls over his man. DJ Lynch powering his way to a first down and taking it past midfield, a pickup of 8.
This pace is going to try to wear out this really stiff Bowling Green defense. They're good at the line of scrimmage, but when you run this fast, it's tough to stay up to speed.
Sudfeld lets it go complete. Shane Wynn with the catch and a first down. His nickname is Itzy, and at just 5'7", the junior from Cleveland Glenville flies to a gain of 14.
Itzy can pick him up and put him down, the fastest wide receiver in this Indiana group.
Against Indiana State, he had 3 touches and 3 touchdowns. Running room right side and then up the middle. Down the hashes goes Houston. He's got another carry for a first down. A pickup of 20 before Cameron Truss finds him.
Terrific change up back for Coleman. Houston gets in there and hits the hole without hesitation.
2:12 and counting on this drive. A lob to the end zone, incomplete. Back judge will pull out the hanky, and that's a pass interference on Boo Boo Gates, trying to slow down Shane Wynn.
Not sure if Boo Boo Gates was holding Wynn because it looked like incidental contact in the end zone.
Pass interference, defense, number 25. Foul occurred in the end zone. Ball will be placed at the 2-yard line. First down.
Todd Gearlings is the leader of our Big Ten officiating crew today.
Kind of a tough call because both players are going for the football, and it looks like Gates is just adjusting to the football. I don't agree with that because the defender has just every right as Cody Lattimore or Hughes, or on that play Shane Wynn, to go up and get the football.
It results in a 1st and goal. Indiana goes big, and a handoff straight ahead to the goal line. Houston is stopped just shy.
Tom, we mentioned the red zone defense. They rank 2nd in the country to Bowling Green. They have to be very strong along that line of scrimmage on this set of downs. 2nd
and goal, quick snap. Houston powers his way just back to the line of scrimmage before he is surrounded. Paul Swan, 1 of 2 to make his way there, along with Rylan Ward from his whip spot in the secondary.
I'm surprised they don't try to get Bolser, the tight end at 6'6", try to spread this formation out and get the football hit to this tight end. He's great against leverage to the short side.
They go play action, looking end zone. There is Bolser, and it's incomplete. 2 receivers in the same area. Bolser one and a fullback another. Rylan Ward had the coverage.
Nice thought trying to get the football to your 6'6" tight end on that corner route, but the ball needed to be located. A catchable football in that situation, Tom. You throw a catchable football to a 6'6" guy, but it looks like Indiana's going to go for it here on 4th.
They're going to go for it on 4th down out of the I formation, and now back out and get a read from the sideline. Sudfeld with the call. Straight ahead running game. Now a bounce to the outside, and Bowling Green stands tall. The best red zone defense in the MAC. DJ Lynch leads away against Houston, and the Hoosiers miss out on a scoring opportunity after a remarkable drive.
Numbers don't lie, and defenses, when you get backed up in your own end, that's when you have to attack the line of scrimmage and play at your best. That's exactly what DJ Lynch and company did on that 4th down opportunity defensively. They played on the other side of the line of scrimmage, the Indiana side of the line of scrimmage, and that allowed those linebackers and DJ Lynch to make a play on 4th down.
Do you agree with the idea to go for it on 4th down on your opening drive?
Tom, Kevin Wilson came into this game saying we need touchdowns, not field goals. That was part of his game plan.
Matt Johnson at quarterback for Bowling Green. Hands off to Travis Green, the converted wide receiver, and Hardin is there for the stop for Indiana. Matt Johnson, in his first college start against Kent State, threw for 357 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, and he had 3 drops in that game. He had 576 total yards. That was the most for anybody playing the position since 2004. So you get a guy that has sparked this football team on the offensive side of the football. He can make plays and extend plays with his legs, and he has the ability just to make something happen when things break down.
And that was the key that the Bowling Green coaches said made Johnson a better quarterback in a call than Shills, the senior. Hit in the backfield. Still room as Green spins his way away from a loss, picks up 2. David Cooper was the first man who found him.
Well, you're trying to create some kind of balance on offense. You have to get the running game going, but Matt Johnson's going to be the key to this victory today for Bowling Green. If they have success and they win this football game, it's going to be because of the right arm of Matt Johnson at the quarterback position.
3rd and 6. Johnson will roll out. He's good on the run, but that one is incomplete. Trying to find Sean Joplin. And that will bring on the punt team for Bowling Green.
Backed up in your own end, they move the pocket to the wide side. I believe he had the slot receiver on the inside, and I'm not so sure Matt Johnson was ready to throw the football. He waited for Joplin to catch the football or come out of his break and give him the opportunity to catch it on the outside. But it looked like the slot receiver was open now, and he missed him.
So tough situation for the Bowling Green punting team. Brian Schmidtbush, 5th-year senior, will punt it away. Fair catch taken at the 49-yard line by Shane Wynn, a 42-yard punt. No score, first try for each team after Indiana turned it over on downs.
ESPNU College Football is presented by Polaris. See the most complete lineup of off-road vehicles at Polaris.com. And in part by AT&T. We think possible.
Well, they know how to get after it here in Bloomington. An early start for the students and a slow start for both offenses after Indiana turned it over on downs on their first possession, and it was a great drive to open the game for Nate Sudfeld, but they couldn't find that final yard or two. Some miscommunication from the tight end. Bolser's looking for the call. 4 in the pass pattern. Sudfeld has to scramble. He'll throw on the run. Deep. Wynn's got it, and he's got it inside the 5. A pickup of 48 on this scramble by Nate Sudfeld.
Great job of keeping the play alive and keeping his eyes down the field, able to find Shane Wynn for a big play.
Quickly to the line as the tempo continues. 1st and goal. Tevin Coleman, the running back, and he is popped at the 2 by Cameron Truss.
Remember last time Indiana had that tight formation. Now it's trying to spread out this Bowling Green defense to try to get in the end zone.
Trips to the left side. It's a handoff straight ahead, and an extra effort results in the touchdown for Coleman, his 4th of the season. Well, maybe that first drive just took too long. They needed a quick one.
That was nice to see. Tevin Coleman gets inside the red zone. Nice second effort. But credit Nate Sudfeld. He really kept that play alive down the field for Shane Wynn to run under that rainbow, and it gets Kevin Wilson and the Hoosiers on the board.
Mitch Ewald, the 5th-year senior, to attempt the extra point. He got plenty of practice week 1 against Indiana State. Sudfeld now has 8 touchdown passes on the season, but this long one is what set up the touchdown run.
Tom, the patience in the pocket. Once he eludes, his eyes immediately go downfield, and credit Shane Wynn for being able to keep the play alive. He got behind the defense, and then he was able to use his second effort. He's hit initially about the 2-yard line, but the 6'1" frame allows him to bowl over the second would-be tackler to get into the end zone in a nice drive. Nate's done a nice job from the quarterback spot on 2 drives now. He's been able to move around in the pocket, and he's been able to throw the football on time. That's 2 qualities you like, and it usually results in a 3-play, 51-yard drive for a score.
Already 108 total yards for Indiana through 2 possessions, but only 1 touchdown to show for it. Ewald will kick it off. Great to see Shane Wynn back on the field after he was knocked out on a targeting play against Indiana State week number 1. Ronnie Moore set to return. Moore won't bring it out.
Tom, what was nice about this play is Shane Wynn's going to be on the inside. He's the slot receiver. He's just going to run a little arrow out. That's the initial play. But when we roll this, and as the quarterback, Nate Sudfeld, leaves the pocket and he escapes the pocket, watch right here. He's almost even with the defense right here. Now, what the wide receiver Wynn's going to do is he's going to see this DB bite, and he's going to go up the field, which is going to allow Nate to continue to extend this play, and all he has to do is throw it close. Shane's able to run under it, get Indiana in great scoring position, and then Tevin Coleman takes it in from the 2.
For a nickname like Itzy, he comes up with big plays, doesn't he?
He sure does, Tom. You have to be able to create in college football. You have so many opportunities.
That's what they say of Matt Johnson at quarterback for Bowling Green. Pumps one, steps up, lets it go deep, and incomplete, and a flag on the play. Contact made between Michael Hunter and Sean Joplin as Joplin was trying to adjust to the pass. Neither quarterback will be afraid to take a shot downfield today.
Pass interference. Defense, number 17, 15-yard penalty, results in an automatic first down.
Boy, and Tom, I think this was a great sell job by Joplin going down the field. I don't think he could create separation away from Michael Hunter. So what he did was create contact, and it looked like Hunter was the initiator of the contact, but it was Sean Joplin. He stuck that left hand back and almost pulled Michael Hunter along for the contact.
Sign of a veteran receiver. Joplin, 5th-year senior. Johnson has to move again in the pocket. Again wants a deep ball, and right through the hands of his intended receiver, Jordan Hopgood.
You have to have that play if you're Jordan Hopgood. He's one of those guys that usually has a complete skill set. Guys that have a great skill set are the wide receivers for Bowling Green. Gallen and Joplin, they have great size, and they can go up and get the football with anybody. And one of the guys that are going to have to defend is Tim Bennett for IU. He's a guy that's only 5'9", going up against 6'4" and 6'2". You have to be able to defend and climb the ladder against these tall Bowling Green wide receivers.
Indiana will be in nickel a good chunk of the time today. They bring an extra man. Passes complete underneath to Alex Bayer, fifth-year senior tight end. Sixth catch of the season. David Cooper with the stop after a gain of 8.
In a game that you're going to have to score a lot of points, remember that Jordan Hopgood drop. That was a game-tying score early in a football game when it's not going to be that easy all day long.
Now 3rd and 2 for Bowling Green. Johnson takes his time before firing on the out route for a first down to Chris Gallen. Gallen had 213 yards and 2 touchdowns on 10 catches last week against Kent State.
He's a guy that is so big. He's one of those true classic X wide receivers. Just split him out there, 6'4", 223, and let him go up and get and challenge for the football.
David Kekueva is their veteran center.
Ball start, offense, number 65. 5-yard penalty. It remains first down.
Well, this is a call you rarely see on a center, and it looked like they thought he was moving the football around a little bit. He's on the Remington Trophy watch list as a top center in college football. A 4-year starter, had an ankle injury last week.
He's a good one. You can see Dave Clausen complaining to the official. That's one that usually the umpire lets slide.
Loss of 5, 1st and 15. Delayed draw, and Travis Green picks up 4. Green isn't your typical running back, 5'10", 181. He's a converted wide receiver. His old high school teammate at Monsignor Pace down in Florida, Anton Samuel, was on pace to be the leading rusher in school history. He had abruptly transferred in the offseason. He's now at Florida International, and so Green took over, and he's been fantastic through 2 weeks. On 2nd and long, Johnson over the middle with a bullet complete, and that'll set up 3rd and short if it's not a first down. Ryan Burbrink had the catch.
Great job of protection by this offensive line for Bowling Green. Plenty of time for Matt Johnson to go 1, 2, and then find his 3rd receiver on the route over the middle. That was a good job of eye discipline and progression through what a quarterback needs to do to be successful in the pocket.
Good spot, gave him the first down. Fresh set from Matt Johnson, redshirt sophomore from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, under center. And a handoff on the jet sweep. This is Ronnie Moore, and Moore takes it to the 30. Greg Eben, the safety for Indiana, with the stop.
Tom, Ronnie Moore's one of those guys that has pure speed, and this offense is trying to create ways to get him the football because he's so elusive in the open field. So that sweep and getting him in motion really accentuates the playmaker or the playmaking opportunities for him on the outside.
They go out of the eye this time, and Bayer, the tight end, motions. On the ground, good cutback, but nowhere to go. Maybe one that time for Travis Green. One of the things that was so impressive reviewing the tape last week for Bowling Green is Green had 145 yards, and that's great. He only had 1 yard lost the entire game.
He's a north and south runner, and he's a guy that has good vision in between the tackles. When you do that, you can be successful, and you don't get many tackles for loss.
They needed some depth at running back. He has provided it, and then some. Empty backfield for Johnson, 3rd and 3. Batted away at the line of scrimmage. That'll bring up a 4th down situation. Nick Mangieri, sophomore from Peoria, Illinois, got that big paw up to knock it down.
Good defensive stand for Indiana. It looked like Bowling Green had all the momentum with the penalty and a couple successful offensive plays. Now they're just limiting them to a field goal opportunity.
Tyler Tate has been perfect this season. He has the wind at his back coming out of the open end of the end zone. A 47-yard attempt will be his long on the year. And this one is yanked left. Indiana's defense stops them on 3rd and 3, forces a missed field goal, and it's the Hoosiers by a touchdown early. It's a doubleheader of college football on ESPNU later today. First at 3:30, it's an ACC matchup as the Yellow Jackets face the Blue Devils. Then at 7, the Golden Flashes of Kent State travel to Death Valley to face SEC powerhouse LSU. Kent State will get the services of Dree Archer back at running back today. ESPN's primetime college football today at 3:30 and 7 on ESPNU. Both games also live on Watch ESPN. It was another quick drive for Indiana last time they had the football. 3 plays, 51 yards to score. And on the first play, they worked the out route to perfection, and Cody Latimer with the reception. Of all the touchdown passes that they've thrown this season, 10 of them for the Indiana offense, Latimer has been held out of the end zone.
And that's the guy they have to get involved today to grow this offense even more.
Sudfield goes right back that direction, and Latimer loses his footing, but picks up a first down first. Cody's dad, Colby, was a Bowling Green product in the mid-'80s. He passed away in 2005 when Cody was just 12 years old due to colon cancer. First and 10 now, and on the ground, just loss of 1 for Tevin Coleman. If you're Indiana and you don't want to be a one-dimensional offense, how effective must your running game be?
You know what? You have to do it in spots, Tom. You don't have to do it consistently, but when you go to it, it has to produce big plays.
Little option pitch. That's an incomplete pass. It was forward coming out of the hand of Sudfeld trying to find Tevin Coleman. I know they wanted to complete that pass, but what about the spacing on this?
You know what? I just think this is a bad pitch by the quarterback. I think it came out of Nate's hand forward, and thank goodness it was forward, an incomplete pass.
On third down, Sudfeld wants to go deep. Plenty of air underneath this one. Hughes. Complete. Will Watson with the coverage, and Kofi Hughes hauled it in just inside the line, and the officials discussing this now. They wave it off. They say incomplete, out of bounds, would have been a pickup of 36. He needs just 1 foot in possession.
Well, I think the foot was no problem. I'm not so sure if he comes down with the football. It looks like the ball comes out once he goes to the ground. It looks like the right foot is in bounds, clean. Now, does he control the football down? That's where the officials were conferring on the sideline.
Steve Newman is our Big Ten replay official. He's in the booth. They'll take a look at it. And John, we saw the feet, not just one, but two. Only need one, but we saw the feet there. The question is taking possession all the way to the ground to complete the reception.
That's the determination that the officials in the booth are going to have to make. There's the 1 foot. The right foot is no question. Now let's watch Hughes as he goes down to the ground. The ball moves and he loses control of the football. Now at the next level, this is not a catch, but we're still on Saturday. So let's take a look and see if that ball, if he controls the football through the catch. Good battle for the football on the outside with Will Watson defending. But that was nice discipline by Hughes, getting that right foot down. And you see the official right away saying that is a clean catch. But when they talked about it on the sidelines, now it's going to go upstairs. Good effort on the outside by Hughes. I'm not so sure that this is going to be ruled a catch.
It's a good indicator, though, of just how aggressive this Indiana offense is. Just when you think they're in trouble, Sudfeld can create time and fire it downfield for 36 yards.
Tom, you were right about the pace of this offense. When Kevin Wilson gets this offense rolling and they have consecutive successful plays, they put a lot of pressure on one of the best defenses that they're going to face this year in Bowling Green. They lead the MAC in just about every meaningful statistic, and that's including red zone defense, and that's what this will be if they deem this a catch.
Review, the ruling on the field stands as called. The receiver did not maintain possession through the process of the catch.
As you said, and the Big Ten crew got it right, and that will bring up a 4th and 11.
Terrific effort on the outside by Hughes. He initially has the football there, but watch it move through the process of the catch. That's the key. That ball moves. Good challenge by Will Watson on the outside. And that'll bring up 4th down for IU.
And a punting situation now. Eric Toth to kick it away to Ryan Burbrink. They come after it, and it's a block punt for Bowling Green, and one that's going to go all the way to the end zone. Special teams have been fantastic for the Falcons, and it pays off there. That is their 15th block in the last 4 years, and Paul Sen is the one that comes up with it.
Tom, I don't even know if you can consider that a block. That just looked like a theft. He took it right off the foot of the punter. That was sensational.
And it goes 46 yards the other way for a Falcons touchdown.
15 block kicks since 2009. That just adds to the list.
Tyler Tate has been perfect on extra points. And Bowling Green gets a special teams touchdown to tie this game. What a turn of events after they took the first down away. Indiana had to punt it away.
Sen comes right up the middle. I don't think I've ever seen that.
You can hear the foot. You can hear
the
it
thud.
It's a thud and a smother.
He took it right off of the foot, and he didn't break stride. I mean, this is unbelievable. What a great special teams play by Paul Sen.
Tag this one, Sports Center Top 10. Paul Sen with the smother in the score. We're tied at 7. This shootout continues, but it's special teams that makes the impact for Bowling Green. And Paul Sen out of Norco, California with this play.
Spectacular play. He's going to line up here and know what he's going to touch him on his way to the punter, Eric Toth. He took it off the toe of Toth and went the distance. That's just amazing how Sen didn't even break stride. He's able to make an athletic play and get into the end zone to open up the scoring for Bowling Green.
I figured out why the second string linebacker looks like such a great runner. His high school coach in Norco was Todd Gerhardt, the father of Toby Gerhardt, who led the country with 28 touchdowns in 2009 as Stanford's running back.
Tom, they can't fool you.
Chance to bring this one out from 3 yards deep, and out to the 19 goes Garrett Welch. This is an incredible play.
It's just spectacular. It's a bad play special teams wise from Indiana because they don't assign anybody to 2 players in white jerseys, and Paul Sen is the beneficiary of blocking the punt and taking it the distance for 6 points.
Brian Sutton was right next to him, and he's got to be thinking, why couldn't I get the block?
That's right.
We're both here.
Paul beat him to the punch.
Well, Dave Clausen has had his coordinators with him for all 5 seasons now at Bowling Green, the only team in the MAC to do so. And their special teams, as we noted, have been fantastic. Aaron Shear, the special teams coach, and they saw something in Indiana's punt block that they thought they could take advantage, and the overload leads to a score. Tevin Coleman still really nothing doing on the ground for Indiana.
Looked like Gabe Martin may be down for Bowling Green, the rover linebacker for this stingy defense.
Bowling Green is relatively healthy on defense through 2 games. Charlie Walker, their talented defensive end, will not play today. Ronnie Goebel takes his spot there. There's Sen now on the field defensively after his special teams touchdown. And they help Martin off the field. The athletic training staff will take a closer look. Back of that left leg.
It's an important series for Indiana offensively. They need to try to get a couple of first downs and tilt the field back in their favor.
Indiana averaging nearly 7 yards per play thanks to a couple of big pass plays from Nate Sudfeld. Here comes a blitz. Sudfeld taken down. That's a first sack allowed by the Indiana offensive line this season, and it's a huge stop for Bowling Green.
And only the 4th sack for the Falcons defensively. That's just a nice play. Good timing on the blitz by Taylor Royster.
Quick shot to the outside, batted away, nearly intercepted. Will Watson has defended a couple of passes well here today in the first quarter.
And Tom,
Deweese Wilson, the intended receiver.
This is why Indiana needed a first down on this set of downs. They started backed up inside their own 20-yard line. You take a sack and a big loss, and now you're punting outside or inside of your own end zone.
Burbrink back to return. Toth with an elevated heart rate this time for sure. They come again and nearly got it. Not a great punt. Toth went down. There's a flag. It was 4th and forever. It was 4th and 18.
You can be aggressive, but sometimes you have to be smart.
Personal foul, roughing the kicker, number 9 of the defense. 15-yard penalty results in an automatic first down.
They have double number 9s. Sean Joplin, the wide receiver, no, it was Gordine, pardon me, who was flagged for that, Isaiah Gordine.
Well, I mean, after you make a play like Paul said, I'm sure everybody along that special teams front says it's my turn, and you get that close, but you're going to get the ball in excellent field position. Sometimes you have to lay off.
So the offense back on the field for Indiana.
Got him.
Pump and go wide open. Catch made for a first down. Cody Latimer, another big one. He moves the chain again. A pickup of 41.
Boy, that's a nice job of Latimer. He knows he's going to bait on the out and up, the double move. The ball brings him inside, but nice concentration on the football.
Sudfeld will move the pocket. Fires towards the end zone. Over the top of his man and incomplete, looking for Latimer that time, who had flipped over to the right side. One of the Indiana coaches, one of the things the Indiana coaches discussed with us, that this Bowling Green defense looks a lot like Pat Narduzzi's defense at Michigan State. And that defense, which we saw last week, puts their cornerbacks on an island a lot. And if you can beat them one-on-one, you have a chance. Trey Roberson now in at quarterback for Indiana. They make the change mid-series, facing a 2nd and 10. And Roberson tries to keep it, and he gets cut under for a loss of yardage. Josh Pettis with the stop, a loss of 4. Bowling Green said Indiana will run the same offense with both quarterbacks, but they're certainly aware of Roberson's tendencies to run the football. So great defensive play call there, brings up a 3rd and 14. Sudfeld back at quarterback.
Well, Latimer's been the guy. I would expect them to go look in his direction if they can.
Sudfeld wobbles one outside, complete to Nick Stoner, and that's a first down for IU. Will Watson shoved him out of bounds.
Really like the way Sudfeld throws the football with a clean pocket. He's such a big guy. Clean pocket, he's going to complete the majority of the passes.
Coleman, the running back. They go play action. Underneath, incomplete. Trying to find the crossing route for Isaiah Roundtree. Bowling Green defensively this week had their scout teams roll through plays at breakneck pace, and a lot of times they didn't even run a play. They just ran to the line of scrimmage, showed a formation, then would run off. Coaches said that's one way we could simulate Indiana's speed.
Sudfeld one-on-one to the wide side of the field.
They fake the end around. Sudfeld has all sorts of time. Looking, lofting, and incomplete. 3rd and 10 for the Hoosiers. Bolzer, the tight end, is a mismatch. They have him in the slot in this formation. Play clock at 6. Don't see this very often.
They're going to take a timeout.
2:22 to go in this first quarter. We stepped away with them. We're tied at 7. Second timeout for Indiana taken here in the first half. The chase to the Sprint Cup officially begins Sunday at Chicagoland Speedway as NASCAR's best drivers begin the 10-week battle for the championship. 13 drivers now, one champion. The Geico 400 at Chicago. Sunday at 1 on ESPN, also live on Watch ESPN. A NASCAR pace for Indiana's offense, facing a 3rd and 10 coming out of the timeout. They've already gone for it once on 4th down in the red zone today. And turned it over on downs. Blitz coming. Sudfeld hit, gets it away. This is complete. And a first down inside the 5 for Kofi Hughes.
A little bit of a rub route using Bolzer, the tight end, coming underneath, and that opens up Hughes for a big play on 3rd down.
Bowling Green ran in some subs. The line judge will whistle a timeout for the Falcons.
This is a 30-second timeout.
Well, Nate Sudfeld is off to a fantastic start running this Indiana offense under Kevin Wilson. Sudfeld so far today 8 of 15 for 175 yards. But remember, Indiana's offense turned it over on downs their first possession. Are they missing those points right now, or is that just an indicator that we're on a race to 40?
I think we're on our way to 40. I think it's the latter. Let's take a look and see. It looks like he was clearly inside the 5-yard line, was Hughes, when he went down. That would have been sufficient enough yardage for the first down. I really like Sudfeld from the pocket, though, Tom. I know they're trying to blend in some movement and some outside zone stuff to get him outside on the run and maybe bootlegs, but he's better from the pocket. If you can protect for him, and now Roberson inside the red zone will take over at quarterback.
Coming out of the Bowling Green timeout. 1st and goal from the 5. Roberson hands it off, and a couple of yards on the left side for Tevin Coleman. Coaches were quick to point out that a lot of the mistakes made under Roberson's watch last week weren't his fault. Missed assignments up front, a penalty, a poor choice of a play call on 4th down. He will have an opportunity today. And now faces 2nd and goal.
Quarterback run here.
He hands it off again. Through one tackler goes Coleman, and now he's down to nearly the 1, just outside the 1-yard line. Ted Ouellette, fifth-year senior from Massachusetts, with the stop. Balanced play selection for IU today. Give to Coleman. He's at the goal line, and they say down just outside the line. DJ Lynch came up and delivered the hit.
Well, what do you do now? You've been down here once and you went for it on 4th down and were denied. I think this ball's touching the goal line. It's inside the 1. I'm not so sure if Coleman didn't get in. I don't know. That looked like his body might have been in, but the ball didn't look like it broke the plane.
They're keeping the offense on the field.
Ruling on the field is the runner is short. The previous play is under further review.
Indiana keeping the offense on the field, but a chance to talk about play selection as this one goes back to the replay booth.
I think that Coleman's right arm was in the end zone, but the ball didn't look like it was in the right arm. It looked like it was switched over more to the middle of his body. When his body goes down there, the ball's on his left hip. I think this is a really good look here. Coleman's going to hit north and south. Watch his right elbow gets in, but the ball's in his left hand. So he's down there, and now he rolls over, shielding the football, but I don't believe the ball broke the plane, and there's not any evidence that we've seen so far that you can definitively tell that the ball broke the plane.
Those 3 words used, the 3 words most used, I should say, in college football broadcasting: indisputable video evidence needed to overturn the call on the field, which was down shy of the goal line.
Right there you can see the elbow. The ball's in his left hand. When he hits the ground there, and now his half of his body's out, but his right arm is in, but that's not where the ball is located. It's located in his left arm, and I believe he's shy of the goal line.
One thing that was impressive about Coleman is his knees didn't touch until after the hip.
The ruling on the field stands as called. 4th down.
Now decision time for Indiana, and Kevin Wilson, along with his offensive coordinators Seth Luttrell and Kevin Johns.
I'm with Kevin. If you can't get a half a yard, you don't deserve to win a football game. So you bring your offense out. You've got a quarterback that can run.
They went play action last time the Bulls are in this situation. High formation.
Dropped the snap, Tom. I'm not sure he got in.
It was Roberson at quarterback, and Bowling Green says they've stuffed him again. This would be the second 4th down stop in the red zone for Bowling Green.
I'm not so sure that Bowling Green may have picked up the football.
Well, the recovery is irrelevant because of the 4th down stop.
Covered by the defense at the half-yard line. 1st down, Bowling Green.
Wow, another huge stop for the Bowling Green defense. They've only allowed scores on 2 of 7 trips for the opponent inside the red zone this season.
They came into the game second in the country in red zone defense, but the snap is what helps the Falcons defense out here. Robeson tries to get in after the muff snap, but he couldn't dig the football up off the ground and get his body in the end zone. And the hard part for Bowling Green is they pick the football up inside the 1. If that was in the end zone, they get instant field position at the 20-yard line.
Great point. Both 4th down stops came on the 1-yard line. Johnson trying to buy some time, uncorks one deep. Rubbin's racing, and there was some incidental contact between Joplin and Hunter.
Double
Second
move,
and 10.
Tom, double move on the outside by Joplin. That's not a bad call on 1st down. When you're backed up inside your 5-yard line, inside your 1-yard line like the Falcons are now, throwing the football is not a bad option.
They try to run it out of the end zone. And out to the 5-yard line goes William Houston, who is their short yardage back. True freshman out of Dublin, Ohio, goes 6 feet even, 262 pounds. Bowling Green asking the coaching staff, should we just let the clock run out and head to the second quarter, or we want to get a playoff at 3rd and 6? Looks like they want to get the playoff. And they do. Johnson steps up all day, and a falling catch made for a first down by Sean Joplin. Only 14 points combined, but still a little bit of everything here in the first 15 minutes of game action in Bloomington. Indiana's offense has been sensational until they get to the 1. Twice stopped on 4th down, and Bowling Green's special team score has tied this game as we move to the second quarter. Great day in Bloomington, Indiana, as Bowling Green's defense has stepped up twice inside the 1-yard line to turn back the Hoosiers in a big first down completion before the first quarter came to an end. Gives some wiggle room to Matt Johnson and the Falcons offense. Takes a high snap, another delayed handoff, and Travis Green is smothered. Bobby Richardson with the tackle for Indiana. Well, you could say Indiana dominated offensively, but that doesn't give enough credit to the Falcons defense for the 4th down stops.
2 stops inside the 5-yard line. It's a defense that's dominating, and Bowling Green lives and dies on that side of the football. They came in 2nd in the country in red zone defense and turned back IU twice.
Matt Johnson has taken over at quarterback for Bowling Green. Second start. He has a little bit of time. He's good on the run, and he completes his pass past the 25 That'll set up a 3rd and short as Chris Gallen has the reception. The second-year starter out of Dr. Phillips High School in Orlando.
Big target on the outside at 6'4". He's tall, he's strong with the football, and he can go up and get it. He's smooth run after catch. You have to get him more opportunities to get involved this afternoon.
Coaches say you have to account for Matt Johnson on 3rd and short, both his legs and his arm. Let's see what the play call is. It's a quarterback sneak, and he carries it for a 1st down. Fantastic play call by this Bowling Green offense and this coaching staff, which had a tough decision coming out of fall camp. Matt Shills has 36 career starts to his name. He's 3rd in school history in completions and yards. He's 5th in school history in touchdown passes, and yet he's not likely to play his senior year going forward. It was a tough quarterback battle won by Matt Johnson, even though Shills came on strong. Weighing on the coaching staff the offseason, they said that the offense and specifically quarterback play went the wrong way in the second half of last year. Complete on the slant, 1st down on a quick hitter to Ryan Burbrink. How tough is that, John Congemi, when you have a new quarterback taking over for a 3-year starter and a senior?
It's difficult. It's difficult, one, to go ahead and compete for it and stay on the field if you're the guy that wins the job, knowing you have a guy in Matt Shills that has 36 career starts and 50 touchdowns in his career. You have to keep making plays and not feel pressured, but you have to be right there on the edge to make plays and create every week.
Play action. Johnson has a beautiful pass to the outside, complete to Joplin, and he cuts back inside to stay alive for a couple more. Greg Heben comes over to make the stop.
Well, that's 2 terrific plays by Matt Johnson. The play before, he's able to go and get a blitz adjustment for a big play. Now you get a double move, an inside-out corner route by Joplin. He's a nice route runner because of his size, but he gets in and out of the routes with quickness. Nice accuracy on the pass by Matt Johnson.
Andre Gibbons is in the game at tailback for Bowling Green. He takes a slow handoff and tries to find some room. Falls forward to pick up 6. Another stop for the former pitcher for Indiana, Greg Heben, 5th-year senior out of Muncie, Indiana.
Well, that run right there just gives you a little bit of balance. It gives you a little bit of flexibility on offense and really keeps the Hoosiers defensively on their toes. They can't sell out against the pocket. They have to honor the run. That's all you need on 1st down.
10th play of the drive for Bowling Green. There was movement up front. Looked like Indiana jumped. Raphael Green. Or did Bowling Green move?
False start, offense, number 65. 5-yard penalty. It remains 2nd down.
It's a 2nd penalty on their senior leader, David Kekueba.
You don't want
out of Kamehameha High School.
You don't want to make those mistakes, Tom, as you're getting closer to scoring zone into the 20-yard line. You want to keep that momentum of positive plays going on 1st and 2nd down, the early count downs.
His first penalty did not cost Bowling Green. They picked up a 1st down. On 2nd down, Johnson has to elude the rush. On the run. Batted away at the last second by a closing Tim Bennett. Johnson put some pressure on the secondary with his feet.
This is blind luck. You're just going to go up and just try to get involved and get in the way of the pass receiver, and that was Alex Baer. Looked like Matt Johnson had Andre Gibbons in the flat. He decided to go down, maybe got a little bit greedy on 2nd down.
Maybe they do have eyes in the back of their heads with these chrome helmets. 3rd and 9. Blitz coming. Man coverage outside. Incomplete. Trying to find Sean Joplin. Michael Hunter had him locked up.
Tom, that penalty delayed the momentum of Bowling Green offensively. The mistake offensively in the middle with that offensive line, and you go back 5 yards, you lose momentum. You had 2 positive plays to get down close to that scoring zone for Dave Clausen, and now they only bring out this long field goal opportunity.
Remember, Tyler Tate missed a long one with the wind at his back. This is from 45. And the wind is going left to right now. Perfectly placed into Knothole Park, and Bowling Green takes the lead on Indiana. Special teams providing all the offense today. Matt Johnson put this one right on the back of a chrome dome. A little boink to take us to break.
ESPNU College Football is brought to you by the experienced Buick Lease. It's a new lease on luxury. And Buffalo Wild Wings, the official hangout for NCAA football.
What a year for Indiana baseball. Their first ever trip to the College World Series, the first for the Big Ten since Barry Larkin was at shortstop for Michigan in 1984. They upset Florida State in the Tallahassee Super Regional. Tracy Smith said he's seeing the same sort of development from the football program. You can see the things, whether it's the attitude or how a kid carries himself, the body language, how they walk, how they look, how they stick their chest out when you see them in the hallway, and they say, "Hi, coach." Now, that might be the difference that he saw in his baseball program, but he's talking about Indiana football as Kevin Wilson tries to build a winner on the gridiron here in Bloomington.
It's all about confidence and how you feel about yourself, and it seems like this IU football team is trying to get there.
From the 1-yard line, Damon Graham. Graham lost the football. He put it on the turf, and it looks like Bowling Green has it. Indiana has been its own worst enemy today.
Looked like Paul Sen on the bottom.
He did it again.
On the bottom of that pile.
Paul Sen is the man who smothered the punt and returned it for a touchdown.
Terrific job on special teams. Looks like the strip from Boo Boo Gates, who's a stud on defense, and then Paul Sen, one of the backup linebackers who's been sensational on special teams for Bowling Green, gets on the football.
Right place, right time for Paul Sen twice on special teams. Sore neck might be worth it for Sen. Indiana baseball has contributed to the Indiana football program. Say about it after this play. Johnson pressured, and they'll blow that one dead. Greg Heben was originally
False start, offense, number 82, 5-yard penalty. It remains first down.
Keeban, the safety, was originally a walk-on pitcher for Tracy Smith's baseball team with a fastball in the low 90s. Gave up baseball, moved to the gridiron, and last year led the team with 91 tackles. He's added 25 pounds to his frame. He is the leader in the secondary for Indiana. 1st and 15. Incomplete, right through the hands of Joplin on a ball that was just a little bit behind him. Well, baseball finished with 49 wins. They won the Big Ten tournament. They hosted a regional in their brand new ballpark here in Bloomington, and then swept through the Tallahassee Super Regional. Everyone said Big Ten baseball couldn't make it to Omaha, and it was IU who finally cracked that drought. We thought basketball was big here. 2nd and 15. Another deep ball into the end zone. Incomplete. Gallen, the intended receiver. Bennett had the coverage.
That time Matt Johnson gave his 6'4" wide receiver an opportunity to go up over Tim Bennett, but Gallen never was able to challenge the football up in the air. You have to be able to stop and try to get up and go vertical to help out your quarterback, who is 7 of 15 today. Bowling Green, Tom, has to take advantage of the field position that their special teams allowed them to set up close to the 30-yard line. Now they're backed up with the 5-yard penalty in a tough 3rd down situation.
They had the takeaway on the kickoff. Now 3rd and 15. Pump, go, over the middle, complete, shy of the 1st down as of now, and Sean Joplin will be held 1 yard short.
They may go for this. This is an interesting call that presents itself with Dave Clausen.
Tyler Tate, their kicker, is 1 for 2 from distance today.
I believe this is under a yard. They may keep this offense out there, maybe go snap count, try to influence with voice inflection, see what happens, and then decide whether they're really going to go for it on 4th down.
They're bringing their big back, William Houston, onto the field. Houston is their short yardage guy. Chris Pullman is in front of him at fullback, and Johnson says we got it all wrong and we'll use a timeout. And the coach is not happy. They had 12 men on the field on a 4th and 1.
Martinez last year in a loss at UCLA didn't throw a touchdown pass. He's thrown 3 today. And the Husker defense looks dynamite. Nebraska rolling over UCLA 21-3. Guys.
Nobody looks better. Obviously, you haven't seen John Kangemi's Ty and Hanky combo. 4th and 1, and Bowling Green's going to go for it. They had a big package on the field. Now they empty the backfield coming out of the timeout. Quarterback is Matt Johnson. He can run. He snuck his way to a first down last time. And he's going to try this time again. Nowhere to go. Great penetration by the freshman linebacker, T.J. Simmons. And for the 3rd time today, an offense turns it over on downs.
Turning the tables, Indiana Hoosiers, they do it defensively this time. And it's going to start in the middle with the linebacker. You're going to see him come in and just shoot the gap. It looked like the timing offensively just wasn't there. The center tries to go out and pull around, and it opens up a huge hole for T.J. Simons to come through. You mentioned, Tom, the freshman has good instincts. He goes downhill. The timing on the play, though, wasn't there. He was able to shoot the gap and get the quarterback, Matt Johnson, on the ground for a big 4th down stop.
So Indiana's offense back on the field. Nate Sudfeld is the quarterback. He has split time today with Trey Roberson. Tevin Coleman on the right side trying to stretch, and Jarris Campbell brings him down after a gain of a few.
I think the Bowling Green staff offensively had too much time to think about that. They had their big people out on the field, and they've had success in that situation.
2nd and 7 now. Sudfeld evades the rush initially. Now he dumps this one to the sideline. Ted Ouellette brought the pressure on Sudfeld.
That's what you have to do if you're Bowling Green defensively, is create pressure in the pocket and get Nate to move his feet. Don't let him sit back there and get a good base and throw the football. You have to make him adjust and then try to get his feet set quickly, because he's not as proficient a thrower when he's moving instead of staying in the pocket stationary.
Out of the no huddle, Sudfeld got the call from the sideline. Feet set, delivered on time, and complete for a first down. Kofi Hughes at 6'2" went up to take it away from the 5'10" Cameron Truss.
Tom, you called it perfectly. Feet set in the pocket. Look at that. He gets that weight transfer. He's able to throw over that left foot, and he throws a strike to the short side of the field.
Quick snap again. Sudfeld pressure, and this one hit out of his hands and finds the sideline again. Flag on the play. Kendall Montgomery delivered the shot to Sudfeld.
Intentional grounding, offense number 7. Loss of down, 2nd down.
Well, that is a debilitating call against the Indiana offense.
Take another look and see where he's shuffling towards the middle of the football field. I believe he was still right on the hash inside the tackle box. Look like they're going to give a sack, or the penalty will bring him back inside the 35.
So 2nd and 17. The job by the Bowling Green front 4 to get to him. Their first sack of the game. Pardon me, their 2nd. Snap was low, faked the end around, couldn't set up the screen. Everything went wrong on that play from the outset.
Wow, and the bigs on that offensive line for Indiana were set perfectly out in space for D'Angelo Roberts just to catch that football behind them. That was a well-designed play, but the execution leaves them in 3rd and long.
Kevin Wilson admitted sometimes when you go up tempo and you turn the ball over, you can't pick up first downs. You can look like an idiot. So this is a big play, and it is caught for a first down past midfield by Nick Stoner. The offense was going the wrong direction, but Sudfeld able to make the play, hooking up with Stoner for 19.
Nice inside out move, good release, and watch him break back to the outside. Terrific job.
Sudfeld chased, loses his man, will dance out of bounds after picking up nearly 5 on first down. Brian Sutton rode him out of bounds. The coaching staff last year did not run Sudfeld They didn't have much depth there.
Stoner with that nice grab on 3rd and long, set up by a perfect route.
But they said this year they will run him. They said just go out and play. This is a pitch, and it's going for a big one for Tevin Coleman. Down the sideline and in, and Coleman with the burst. 42-yard run by Coleman off the pitch from Sudfeld.
Tom, remember they ran that same play, but only they ran it to the left side. It's a tougher pitch for Sudfeld, going to his left than to his right. They tried it in the first quarter. It was called an incomplete pass. They come back here in the second quarter for 6 points.
Ewald on for the extra point. School record holder now for extra points after going 5 for 5 against Navy. And he bangs it through to put Indiana back in front. Officially ruled a lateral, and on this pitch it is a touchdown run of 42 yards for Tevin Coleman in Indiana. Back and forth affair swings Indiana's way after the 42-yard touchdown run by Tevin Coleman on the option. It's been a big play kind of day for IU. 5 of them of 20 yards or more. Already 24 in the season.
Well, he's the guy that needs to be the workhorse when they run the football. Tevin Coleman has to be that guy to make dynamic plays. They don't try it a lot, but when you're trying to create balance on your offense, you need one guy to step to the forefront, and that was Coleman going 43 yards for the touchdown.
Ronnie Moore is set to receive for Bowling Green. Still not to the midway point of the second quarter here in Bloomington. Moore 5 yards in, takes a knee.
Terrific execution. You're going to watch Ralston Evans. He's the tackle right here, and the tight end just above him in Bolser. He's going to go out, put a block here. He's going to go out. Evans is going to wall in there, and now you're going to play catch and play cat and mouse on the end of the line of scrimmage. quarterback. Sudfeld goes down the line of scrimmage. He gets a big player in space, and that's all you need. If you get Ronnie Goebel, the defensive end, in space, you can get a guy like Tevin Coleman outside, untouched, into the end zone. But credit Evans, the tackle, and Bolser, the tight end.
You know, the most important yard for Tevin Coleman on that run?
What's that?
The last one.
Gets him in where they paint the end zones?
Yeah, because after being stoned on 2 4th-and-1s, Indiana didn't have to face it this time. Johnson trying to scramble, and he will go down after a pickup of 4. Indiana will rotate a bunch of bigs up front. They expect to see Christopher Cormier get some playing time today. Highly recruited junior college defensive end. Play as many as 11 among the front 4.
Let's see how Bowling Green answers. They want to go outside to Gallen and Joplin. Those guys are the playmakers on this offense.
Indiana brings corner blitz. Picked up beautifully. Right that direction for the grab. Parmy incomplete. They say Gallen was out of bounds along the Indiana sideline.
You're right, Tom. They bring pressure from the short side, but this has to be a catch. I'm not so sure if that left foot didn't hit before the right foot hit out of bounds. Gallen may have hit that left foot inbounds before the right foot comes down out of bounds.
Bowling Green stalls just long enough.
The previous play is under further review. The ruling on the field was it was not a catch. The receiver was out of bounds.
Gallen has to be aware of his surroundings. He knows that his route pinned him on the sidelines. That left foot may have hit before that right foot. That would be a catch. This is the best look right here. Take a look at the left foot. If it hits there, boy, that's close.
It's when we need a Congemi special, a 60-inch flat screen in the booth.
That's right.
Trying to see if that is a shadow underneath his foot or if that right foot is touching the turf.
Oh, it hit the turf. I think that's a catch. He had control of the football in his right hand, and it looked like that left toe clearly touches before the right toe hits out of bounds.
Keeping our guy Steve Newman from the Big Ten busy in the replay booth today. Then the second thing they have to figure out, if the left foot came down first and if it's a catch, will be the spot of the football, and if it's enough for a fresh set of downs or if it'll be 4th and inches.
Remember, he had control, did Gallen, of the football in that right hand.
Needs to get to the 35 for the first down.
Left foot down before the right.
And
Looks like
that left foot is past the 35-yard line.
Tom, it just might be enough for a first down.
We spent a lot of time worrying about the left foot of Chris Gallen, and we got to see where the ball is as well when that foot comes down. I don't know. I mean, that ball is behind him.
I know it. I know it. The foot comes down before on the right side of the 35, but the ball is on the backside.
After further review, the receiver did get a foot down inbounds for a first down. Bowling Green's ball, 1st and 10 at the 35-yard line on the left hash.
And the booth is replaying both the spot and the catch, obviously starting with the catch. It's a first down for Bowling Green. Matt Johnson hooked up with Chris Gallen. And Gallen's already having a big day.
If I'm Bowling Green here, I might take a shot, maybe move the pocket, get a double move to the wide side, and take a shot down the field.
They stack him up in the backfield. Little option offense. Johnson with the pitch. And Ronnie Moore tripped up on the perimeter. Gain of 9. Nice stop by Antonio Allen, a true freshman from Ben Davis High School in Indy.
Terrific job by Johnson just getting the football out. He's getting hit as he pitches outside to a playmaker in Ronnie Moore. You can see the speed that Moore possesses getting those 9 yards.
A young Indiana defense, true freshman Simmons at middle linebacker, and now playing time for another true freshman Allen. 2nd and 1. Left side for a first down for Bowling Green. William Houston, short yardage man with the big carry for the 262-pounder. Two ranked teams highlight ESPN's primetime doubleheader later tonight at 7. Jordan Matthews leads the Commodores in a crucial SEC East battle against Jadeveon Clowney and the 13th ranked Gamecocks. Then at 10:30, it's the Badgers' bruising backfield facing their first true test against the Sun Devils D. Vandy, South Carolina at 7. Then number 20, Wisconsin versus Arizona State at 10:30.
Like to see my man James White go wild on the Sun Devils. He's having a heck of a season.
Johnson pressured again, and finally goes down. Got back to the line of scrimmage for no gain. Nick Mangieri finally found him. Relentless pursuit from the big guys up front for IU.
As much as this IU defense has been maligned about not stopping people and getting off the football field, they've done a nice job of trying to prevent the big play, and I think they're going to have to do that again here on 2nd down.
Talented trio of receivers for Bowling Green. Blitz coming, and that one got into the hands of the running back. A pickup for Travis Green in the face of pressure. Johnson just got the handoff off in time.
Great timing along the line of scrimmage. By timing up the snap count, Mangieri did a nice job of coming from the end spot, kicking down to the tackle, but he just couldn't finish.
Here comes another blitz, and the pass is incomplete. Coverage by Michael Hunter on Chris Gallen. Hunter was all over Gallen that time. So after the quick snap, Bowling Green will punt it away on 4th and 3.
It's a good job by IU's defense getting off the field. Now they just want to secure the catch on this punt, try to get some more points or give themselves an opportunity to score before halftime.
Shane Wynn had a punt return for a touchdown. Week 1 lets this one go over his head and into the end zone. Under 5 minutes to go in the 2nd quarter. That 46-yard punt will set up Indiana's offense, but their defense with the big stop here. Michael Hunter was smothering D against Gallen.
Carter going to join me at the half. We'll show you how Nebraska has been oh so impressive on both sides of the football today. Teddy Bridgewater getting a test against Kentucky, and we'll look ahead to the game, Alabama, Texas A&M. See you at halftime.
Ty, thanks. Here in Bloomington, the Hoosiers trying to get this offense started again. Scored on a long touchdown run. Last time out, Nate Sudfeld at quarterback. And that is complete to Kofi Hughes, who picks up 5. Ballers on the field for Indiana, and in the end zone too. Cody Zeller and Victor Oladipo both led IU to the Sweet 16 last year in a Big Ten regular season title at 14-4. Both guys now in the NBA with both Orlando and Charlotte. And here's a big run, another one on the ground. This time it's Stephen Houston, and he takes it inside the 30. Ryland Ward forces him out of bounds. A run of 50.
And Tom, that's the 6th play of 20-plus yards for Indiana today offensively. They're getting big plays at the right times to move this football.
And room again for Houston. He's tripped up at the 11 by Ward. Zeller turned things around for Indiana head coach Tom Crean. Oladipo certainly helped, 2 big-time recruits, and now just maybe Nate Sudfeld is the big-time recruit to turn around Indiana football. Cramping seems to be an issue for Bowling Green against this fast-paced Indiana offense. So if those 2 guys make a difference on the hardwood, especially Zeller, an in-state recruit, well, what kind of difference can a talented quarterback like Sudfeld have?
He can make an instant impact. And the way he runs this offense, and the way he throws the football from a clean pocket with his size at 6'5", this offense has potential to put points on the board.
Passing or running, and this time he's getting Stephen Houston involved.
First it was Tevin Coleman with a 43-yarder off the right side. Now you see the high-stepping 5th-year senior Stephen Houston moving it down the field. That's just a nice job at the point of attack by this offensive line, and a good balance created today by Indiana, throwing the football and running the football.
It's Boo Boo Gates who's banged up. That's someone the Bowling Green cannot afford to lose. He forced the fumble on the kickoff return. He's on the Paul Hornung watch list as the most versatile player in college football. He's a special team standout, and he's their leader in the secondary.
Remember, when Indiana gets back on the field, the matchup, the leverage matchup, they like the 6'6" tight end of 10, Bolser, going up on the short side of the field.
Bolser lined up left side, attached to the tackle.
He can go up and take it away from a smaller defender. All you have to do is get it close.
This is Houston trying to pay off that big run, and he takes it inside the 5 down to the 3 before DJ Lynch brings him down.
I'd run the same play. Give him another crack at it.
Why not? Houston again popped at the line of scrimmage. May have gone backwards for a yard. Zach Colvin with the stop. They stay quick. Roberson replaces Sudfeld at quarterback. Remember, he fumbled the snap on 4th and 1 last time he was this close. Roberson missed most of last year with a broken leg.
They may want to move the pocket with Roberson.
And Bowling Green jumped. Brian Thomas the end. Rebuilt Indiana offensive line. Ralston Evans getting the start at right tackle instead of Peyton Eckert, who's still out.
False start. Offense. Number 64. 5-yard penalty. It remains 3rd down.
Well, that's a rarity because that's one of their leaders. Colin Warerig, the center. One of only 2 projected starters on the field for Indiana. The other being Spriggs, the left tackle. Indiana in red zone trouble again. 3rd and goal, backed up to the 9. fade route. End zone. Touchdown, Indiana. What a grab by Kofi Hughes. I figured it out. Indiana's better the further away they are from the goal line.
Sometimes that works for offenses. You cannot throw a better fade route than this ball right here. Positioned to the outside shoulder. Terrific concentration by Hughes in the back corner of the end zone, but that was a dime by Sudfeld.
Roberson was on the field for third and short, and then they got backed up. They brought Sudfeld back on. 21-10 Indiana, 2:44 remaining in the first half. Got to be some truth to it. When you're passing offense, you have room to operate.
Clean pocket, more room to operate after the penalty, and the one-handed grab by Hughes. That was a nice job by this offensive line, giving a clean pocket to Nate with that big 6'5" frame to just stand tall, throw an accurate football outside, and he's all smiles on the sideline.
Bowling Green came into this game allowing only 14.5 points per game. They've surrendered 21 in the first half despite stopping Indiana twice on 4th and 1 from the goal line. Sudfeld 12 of 21, not a great percentage, but 218 yards already here in the first half. He threw for 363 against Navy. That was the 10th best performance in Indiana history.
Tommy had 398 total yards in that loss against Navy. 4 touchdowns. He had 4 the week before against Indiana State. So this is a guy that can get the football in the end zone.
Boo Boo Gates, one of their key returners. Remember, he left with an injury moments ago. From the goal line, this is Ronnie Moore. He's got a blocker. He's got a little bit of room, and finally smothered by the Crimson. Tim Bennett with the stop. How about Nate Sudfeld today?
Well, he's had a terrific afternoon, 12 of 21. What I like about him is his footwork. When he has a clean pocket to work with, he transfers that weight from the back foot to the front foot. He sticks it in the ground, and that makes him accurate downfield. And when he has time, he's able to be decisive downfield. Clean pocket, awareness, good eye discipline. He's able to locate the football down the field. So you have good feet, you're decisive, and you have good ball position because you're accurate down the field. Those three make a good quarterback have a great day, and that's what Nate's doing today.
Back to work for Matt Johnson and company, trying to turn it to the running game, and they find only 1 yard. Indiana has never been a team, especially in its recent history, that would out-physical anybody. In fact, that was one of the main aspects of rebuilding when Kevin Wilson took over. But they're playing a pretty physical game today, especially up front.
They're doing a nice job, a better job defensively than I think even Kevin thought they could do against Bowling Green, because the Falcons like to mix it up on offense, and they've really limited the quarterback play of Matt Johnson.
On the zone read, Johnson will keep it, scrambling to the 40 and picking up a first down. Under 2 minutes to go in the half. Bowling Green has 1 timeout in its pocket.
Plenty of time for the Falcon offense to get down in scoring position.
Johnson pocket collapses on a 4-man rush, and he fires short yardage complete to Alex Bayer. A little bit of mustard on that one from about 6 yards away.
Those last 2 plays, Tom, you're able to see what makes Matt Johnson likable from his teammates. He's able to add that spark. He's able to extend plays with his feet, keep them alive, and keep the chains moving in the positive direction.
2nd and 6. Indiana brings 2 extra men. Pass to the outside, complete for a first down to Chris Gallen. Tim Bennett with the coverage. Bowling Green taking advantage of their one-on-one opportunities.
You have to. When you have those big studs on the outside, you have to spread the football around. Still plenty of time with one timeout remaining.
4 wide. This one underneath again for a catch by Chris Gallen. Bennett with the coverage. Indiana, after that last play, wanted to run on 4 new defenders. They didn't get the opportunity because Bowling Green's going no huddle.
And you still have time, Tom, to run the football if you want to here. Plenty of time because that clock will stop on a first down. You've got 2nd and short. 2 options. You can run the football here to get the first down, or you can maybe get a little creative on the outside, get that out and up because you've been so successful to the short side.
Safeties drop for Indiana on 2nd and 1. Johnson over the middle, complete. Chris Gallen with the grab for a first down. Why was that route the right one to run that time?
Cover 2, corners pressed on the outside and 2 safeties on the hash. They really moved off of the middle of the field. They were protecting outside the hashes, thinking they were going to go out and up or out again. Opened the middle of the field wide open.
On first down, fastball to the outside is incomplete, aiming for Joplin.
And now Indiana will be able to get those fresh guys in the football game up front.
Indiana trying to keep guys fresh up front. Pressure doesn't seem to bother Matt Johnson.
Remember, Gallen's 6'4", maybe throw it up in the back of the end zone here to him.
Looking that way. A roll right now, and diving incomplete. That was Joplin, the intended receiver. Why did Johnson turn away from the left side of the man coverage?
I think that was just a look off, Tom. I think he was going to roll right all the way and try to get that, use the wide side of the field to his advantage. But if it's me, if I've got Tim Bennett against my 6'4" wide receiver, I'm going to take that opportunity, that man-to-man opportunity to let my guy win.
Gallen 6'4", Joplin 6'2". This is 3rd and 10. Hoosiers bring 6. Back foot throw and the fade will fall incomplete. Trying to find Chris Gallen. David Cooper brought the pressure on Johnson.
I know there's pressure in the pocket, but Matt's got to do a better job of getting that football closer to his wide receiver. Give him, if it's a back shoulder throw even, give Chris Gallen an opportunity to go up and catch the football over the smaller corner.
.32-yard attempt for Tyler Tate.
Timeout, Bowling Green.
Last time out of the half for Bowling Green. Surely they're not thinking about going for it on 4th and 10 out of timeouts with a minute left. Interstate rivals square off on ABC's Saturday Night Football as the 21st ranked Fighting Irish aim to rebound from their loss in Ann Arbor with a road victory against the Boilermakers. Saturday Night Football presented by Windows. Notre Dame versus Purdue tonight at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on ABC. Everyone's talking about the Michigan-Notre Dame rivalry coming to an end. Well, that Purdue-Notre Dame rivalry will continue and continue for a number of years. They've been playing every season since the mid-40s.
Notre Dame coming off a loss at the Big House, and Purdue has to boiler up tonight against one of their longtime rivals.
They'll play with Notre Dame annually through 2021 in a series that started in 1946. 32-yard attempt. A low line drive, and the knuckleball falls outside of the goal post. Second missed field goal of the day for Tyler Tate. He had made 6 consecutive field goals dating to last year coming in. Well, it's a bit like backyard football today for Indiana with Nate Sudfeld at quarterback. He's scrambling. He's running around, making some plays for him, even though he's not perfect. If you're the Indiana coaches, you give Roberson another opportunity, or is this your guy?
I think this is your guy, and I think he's your guy for today. I don't know if this staff is ready to commit to one guy for a long, extended period of time, because they want both of these guys to contribute in some way. But the way Nate's playing, 6 plays of 20+ yards, they're generating nice big chunk yardage plays.
D'Angelo Roberts in at running back. He can provide a burst, and he's spun around before it takes it up to the 27-yard line. Brian Sutton Jr. from up the road in Fishers, Indiana, with the stop. Hoosiers will roll in a couple of the big guys, including Mike Rapogel, who's been at fullback for them today, and bolster the tight end, and they will simply take a knee and run out the clock on the first half. Now, it looked like Indiana was getting in its own way, twice failing at 4th and goal from the 1-yard line, but the second quarter much more to Kevin Wilson's liking. They gave up a special teams touchdown, but otherwise the Indiana defense has been pretty solid today. Big plays for the offense, and the majority of the yardage surprisingly coming on the ground. 42-yard run for Coleman, and this fade to Hughes, and Indiana in control at the half.
Halftime Report is brought to you by Nissan, premier partner of the Heisman Trophy.
Indiana leading Bowling Green at the half in Bloomington, 21-10. Big plays have been a best friend of the Hoosiers so far today, and that continued in the second quarter. Second half should be a fun one from Bloomington.
fumbled the ball. He got it back. Now he's throwing end zone. Wide open. Touchdown! He's got a guy, and it's a catch. It's a touchdown. Touchdown, Texas A&M. He's rolling. He's throwing. It's intercepted. A&M. Aggies just intercepted the ball. Lightning in a bottle in Tuscaloosa.
Well, remember last year, A&M jumps out to a 20-zip first-quarter lead, holding Alabama to 34 yards and a single first down in the quarter. It changed, though, in the second half. A.J. McCarron and that Alabama defense tightened up, nearly came all the way back. And let's see what translates into this year's version. Time for a little Johnny Manziel via Numbers Never Lie.
Hey, it's Michael Smith here from Numbers Never Lie. My man Johnny Manziel tried to downplay the significance of the Alabama rematch. Well, I'm not buying it because he's only the 6th reigning Heisman winner to face the #1 team in the AP poll. The only one who didn't lose was Tim Tebow, who beat none other than Nick Saban's Alabama en route to winning the national championship. And for anyone on Alabama to say it's not about revenge, come on. Consider that last year, Johnny Manziel completed 80% of his passes at least 20 yards downfield against the Tide. Impressive since all of Alabama's 13 other opponents combined completed less than 25% of their passes that long. Last year, Manziel completed 100% of his 6 passes outside the pocket against Bama and scrambled for an additional 94 yards when forced out of the pocket. Alabama's 13 other opponents only completed 36% of their passes outside of the pocket and scrambled for only 50 total yards last year. And most amazing of all was third down. Johnny Manziel converted 9 of his 13 third down chances against the Tide. That was the highest conversion rate for a quarterback against Alabama in the last 10 seasons. I mean, he had a total QBR of 99.4 against Alabama on third down. All other quarterbacks in the world combined for a total QBR of 7.0 in that situation. Touchdown! So I'm going to guess that while Johnny Manziel was spending the offseason hanging out with LeBron James, Rick Ross, and the Duck Dynasty guys, Nick Saban was probably sitting in a dark room somewhere, watching film, plotting revenge. Because numbers never lie.
I love the way that they look at things, but how do you look, Kevin Carter, when you see Johnny Manziel and what he did early in that game last year versus what he did late and how that translates to today?
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing Johnny Manziel, the top offensive player a year ago, and what is the top offense in the SEC this year in the Aggies, go against what has been the top 5 defenses in the country in the last 5 years. This is what I want to see. I want to see the man who has over 4,600 yards last year, 46 touchdowns, led the SEC in rushing and electrified college football. He was able to make certain adjustments in the second half against LSU and Florida. Those adjustments didn't work out so well, but against Alabama, it did. Second half, Johnny Manziel came on, made the adjustments, and won this ball game. It was all Johnny football.
You look at A.J. McCarron on the other side. A guy 30 touchdowns, 3 picks a year ago, but 2 in this game. What do you expect this time?
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing this offense possibly without the kinks. I mean, you know, the challenge of any team is looking like you're in midseason form at the beginning of the season. Alabama knows that this is a process. Nick Saban says we have to establish an identity and become who this team is. But I look forward to seeing them do great things. A.J. McCarron doesn't look like himself. The running game doesn't quite look right. No problem. Christian Jones is the answer. Special teams out of the backfield. He's given A.J. McCarron extra options.
Yeah, if he makes a play or two, that changes this thing entirely. Oh, for the record, the last time College Game Day has been in a top 6 battle between 2 top 6 teams. The home team is just 1-5. Look at that lineup for Mondays on the U. Hello.
from memory. In 1976, two-time Heisman Trophy winner Archie Griffin and Ohio State entered their 4th straight Rose Bowl undefeated, the national championship in their sights. But Dick Vermeil's UCLA squad held Griffin under 100 yards and scored 23 second-half points to beat the Buckeyes 23-10 in one of the biggest upsets in Rose Bowl history.
The 100th Rose Bowl game on ESPN.
Welcome in, Dory Noka, Kevin Carter with you. Other big games in the Big Ten today as you look at Ohio State. Let's start there with the Buckeyes. Some questions about who's going to be their quarterback. Braxton Miller dealing with that left knee sprain. If he can't go, Kenny Guyton will. How key is it to have Braxton, or do you trust that they'll be okay at Cal with Guyton?
Well, judging by what happened last weekend, Kenny Guyton came in and just picked up exactly where Braxton Miller left off. He was dynamic in the pocket. He threw the ball downfield very well and seemed calm, cool, and collected and poised. But the one area of this team that I was really looking at them having missed, which they haven't missed, is in the running game with Carlos Hyde. Looking at Jordan Hall filling in, he's had 2 200-yard games. So no matter who's playing quarterback, they should be okay.
Interesting. When the buses for Ohio State pulled into Oakland last night, by the way, there were some shots fired in the area. A little scary there, but hopefully they'll be okay. Everybody seems to be okay.
Interesting.
Notre Dame and Purdue. Notre Dame on the road here. Tommy Rees, they're coming off of a loss against Michigan. Tommy Rees has been okay. What do you expect to see tonight?
I expect to see them bounce back today. I mean, Tommy Rees had a good game versus Michigan, but this wasn't, a pushover of a defense. This was the 13th ranked defense in college football a year ago, and Michigan played just like that. So this game, I expect to see them come back, try to establish the run, try to do something on the ground, make things easier for Tommy Rees to deliver the football downfield.
Remember, as they went to that national championship game last year, Purdue played them to within 3 points.
Yes.
Now they're on the road in prime time. Don't look past anybody, right? They've got Oklahoma coming in a couple of weeks, Michigan State next week. How carefully they got to be here tonight?
Notre Dame can't afford to look past anyone on their schedule right now. I mean, this game against Michigan, this was one of 4 games last season that we said they were probably going to lose, and they didn't. But last year, 12-0, Purdue gave them a run for the money. So did Pitt.
2 teams play later tonight that have not given up a point yet this season. Wisconsin's played twice, nothing allowed there. Arizona State's played once, nothing allowed there. Run the game, run the ball. That's what Wisconsin likes to do, right? They've got multiple guys who have gone over 250 yards on the season. But you've got to think against this defense, they're going to have to make some plays through the air with Joel Stave, right?
Stave has been pretty good, but he's had a good running game to lean on. He's going to have to do a little more this game if they want to get the same result, because it might be a little bit harder to get the run established.
There he is, Joel Stave in Wisconsin. He's got, in one game, he had 3 backs go over 100 yards. In the second game, he had 2 backs go over 100. Need to be, obviously, this Arizona State defense is far and away the best that they will have seen, and one of the best they may see all season.
Well, they've got a pass rush on them, too. When you look at what they are able to get done, I mean, look, quarterback, running backs, everybody fits together kind of in a team. Talk about team and how teams are made up. But when you look at how they run the football, they're going to have to do a little bit better against this Arizona State defense. They're going to have the same success.
That game late, 10:30 Eastern time on ESPN. Don't forget, Saturdays now on ESPNU. Catch an hour of Dari and Mel on ESPN Radio.
This halftime report is brought to you by Sonic. Say good morning with a breakfast burrito and premium red button roast coffee at Sonic.
ESPNU College Football is presented by Polaris. Hoosiers take the field getting ready for the second half, up 11 on Bowling Green. Can't take anything for granted when it's the MAC versus the Big Ten, as they know in Ann Arbor so far today. But here in Bloomington, it's a different story. It was nip and tuck through the first quarter. Indiana really looks like the better team, especially offensively.
More big plays. I mean, offensively, the tempo, the pace that Indiana has been running their offense with has been a little bit too much for Bowling Green to come back from. I think that they're used to it, but there's more big plays generated by this Indiana offense, and it seems like Bowling Green just can't get over the hump to get on the scoreboard.
Maybe a bit of a surprise. It's not just the passing game that's provided the big plays for the Hoosiers today, but certainly that was a key early.
Tom, they've had a nice mix of run and pass, but you have to credit Nate Sudfeld for extending plays. Here, a big play to Shane Wynn to get them in scoring position. Then the double move on the outside. Cody Latimer, who's had 3 for 70 today, another guy with big plays. And then you mentioned the running game. Tevin Coleman goes 43 yards, shows his speed on the outside. When Coleman was tired, it was Stephen Houston's turn to get into the act on the ground. Both big runs have come off that right side, and that offensive line, give those guys credit. They've done a nice job.
Bowling Green got it started with special teams. This hashtag SC Top 10, this may be the play of the year in college football so far.
It was the theft right off the foot of the punter from Indiana, and Paul Sen gets into the end zone to open up the scoring to tie it at 7 early in this football game.
They are just 1 for 3 on field goals, however, as we take a look at the numbers. 363 yards of offense for Indiana today. Turned it over twice. Twice they got stopped on 4th and goal from the 1-yard line. This could be a much larger lead for Indiana.
It's comfortable now, but it could have been exaggerated, even with 2 field goal opportunities, making this a 27-10 game if they give them the 2 chippies when they were stuffed on inside the 5-yard line.
Well, Bowling Green getting great quarterback play last week from Matt Johnson. And so far today, his number is pedestrian, 13 of 25 for a $153. What has slowed down Bowling Green offensively?
Seems like the inability to convert on 3rd down. Only 3 of 9 on 3rd down. And the penalties, Tom, we've seen Bowling Green have some success offensively, but every time they cross the 30-yard line or the 40-yard line, get into Indiana territory, it seems like one penalty slows down their momentum offensively. So you have to be able to do things efficiently when you get in the scoring zone, and Bowling Green hasn't been able to do that in that first half.
They ran for 233 against Tulsa, a lot of that in the second half, 219 against Kent, but struggling with the running game today. Bowling Green has been a second half team already through just 2 games this season. Awfully impressive, turning around a 6-point deficit against Tulsa in the first half, and they dominated Kent State in the second half last week. Little onside kick to start the half, and it is out of bounds. Nick Stoner running down the sideline, just missed by maybe a half a foot. Bowling Green will have great field position.
Well designed, because Stoner outflanked the Bowling Green last man on that line on the kickoff return. You get a block in there. Does he catch the football? Did it go 10 yards, and did he catch it in bounds? That's the question.
It's the 3rd time Kevin Wilson has attempted an onside kick this season. They are 0 for 3.
The ruling on the field is a kick out of bounds. The previous play is under further review.
Tom, it looks like they're spotting the ball around the 47-yard line or 48-yard line. That means that ball went 10 yards. Now, does the toe of Stoner get down before the heel? Ball's kicked from the 35. It crosses the 45, so there's your 10 yards. And does that foot get in bounds from Stoner on special teams before the heel touches?
Ruling on the field was out of bounds. I'm not sure how you can overturn that.
I'm not so sure he had possession of the football when the toe was on the ground, and now the heel hits, and now he has possession, but he's out of bounds.
What about the decision for Kevin Wilson to attempt an onside kick?
A lot of confidence in his offense.
Ruling on the field is confirmed. A kick out of bounds.
I think that Kevin Wilson believes he's going to score points in the second half, and he was trying to keep that accelerator down to the floor, carrying over to his special teams, but now his defense in a tough spot to open up the third quarter.
Well, great plan, but Nick Stoner couldn't complete it, so Matt Johnson in plus territory to start the second half. Ball tipped and will fall incomplete. In the second half last week, Bowling Green went nuts both offensively and defensively against Kent State. They have outscored their opponents this season 45-7 in the second half.
They're going to need to score points here because this could be a momentum change or a shift for their offense. If they can go down and get 7 points, they're right back in this football game.
Trying to run it past the blitz with Travis Green. Nice move to make a man miss, and inside the 35. Mark Murphy brings him down. Mark Murphy Sr. was a safety for the Packers. 3rd and 2.
Tom, I mentioned 3 of 9 on third down opportunities for Bowling Green. This is the most important one of the game. Looks like it's going to be a single receiver short side of the field trying to attack man-to-man coverage.
They run it again on 3rd and 2. And it will be right on top of the marker. Greg Heben with the stop on Travis Green. Maybe just shy.
In Indiana, they committed 9 people to the line of scrimmage. They were man-to-man on the outside, press coverage, selling out against the run, and now Bowling Green looks like they're going to go for it on 4th down. 0 for 1 so far today, but they've got to get that big back William Houston the football.
They're a football shy of a first down. Houston is the back. Pullman in front of him. Houston has it. A first down for Bowling Green. David Cooper with the stop.
Tom, I believe that was the play they had drawn up the first time in the first half when they went for it on 4th down. They had a timeout, and I think they had too much time to just outthink themselves. They were caught behind the line of scrimmage, didn't convert on their first opportunity, but William Houston gets it there.
Travis Green, play action to him, and a hit from behind. Mangieri batted it away a couple plays ago. And that time he's able to find Matt Johnson. First Indiana sack of the day.
Good speed rush at the top of your screen, left side. He's just going to speed rush right around the set block of the tackle. That's just a good job of getting low and dipping your shoulders around the would-be block on the edge by Mangieri.
So now 2nd and 14. Over the middle to his tight end, Alex Bayer. 3rd down forthcoming for Bowling Green. TJ Simmons, a freshman Mike linebacker, with the tackle.
Can Indiana rise up again on 3rd down? Defense put in a tough spot. Do they bring pressure again on 3rd down? Doesn't look like it.
Jordan Hopgood in at tailback for Bowling Green. And bring one extra man. Johnson over the middle. Great hands. And the ball came out. Chris Gallen, the receiver, lost it when he went down. Tim Bennett had the coverage, and it's picked up by the Hoosiers. It's Mangieri. And the question is obviously if it was a complete pass.
May have been an
interception. First down.
It may have been Mangieri with the interception in the secondary, Tom.
He just took it away from him, didn't he? Watch where the ball ends up.
Buying time. That's a good throw, an accurate throw with good coverage. The ball gets hung up
Unbelievable.
on Gallen's legs and falls into the arms of Nick Mangieri. This should be a catch and a first down, but the ball escapes him, gets hung up in his legs, tipped by the right hand right in to the defensive end, who's 15 yards down the field.
They're reviewing this play. It was just announced. We haven't seen any angle that showed the ball hit the turf.
Mangieri's had a nice set of downs defensively. He gets the sack, and it looks like an interception. This ball needs to be caught, first of all. I think Gallen and Joplin need to do a better job of securing the football. A little lazy with their hands, tucking it when they're in traffic. And let's credit Tim Bennett. He was the guy that was on the coverage, making it difficult for Sean Joplin to secure the catch. But I don't see that ball on the ground. I think Joplin kept it alive with his legs first, between his legs, and then his right hand tips the ball up as he was trying to make the catch for the second time into the arms of Mangieri.
Couple things to look at on the replay, not the least of which is that when Joplin's knees were down, he didn't have control of the ball. It was never a catch by Joplin.
After further review, the ruling on the field of an interception stands as called. First down, Indiana.
So the aggressiveness of Kevin Wilson, who comes out in onside kicks, the opening kickoff of the third quarter, gets rewarded by the defense, not special teams. They get the ball right at the 20-yard line.
Out of the pistol, Sudfeld will hand it off. Tevin Coleman to the 25-yard line. Brought down by Brian Thomas, Paul Swan. 2nd and 5. This is once again Tevin Coleman. Boo Boo Gates rides him out of bounds after a pickup of 40 yards.
Tom, that's the third time Indiana's been able to gash Bowling Green on the right side. That's the 7th plus 20 play this afternoon.
Indiana came into this game as Houston gets the carry, averaging 216 yards a game on the ground. They already have 191 today. 2nd and 8. A lot of offensive coordinators and coaches will tell you that we strive for balance. I don't believe that. I don't think they do.
They're looking for big plays.
And here they go looking for Latimer. Got it! Touchdown, Indiana. Latimer was looking for a touchdown this season. They said we have to get it to him at some point today. But such a great teammate. He never complained that everyone else was putting up the numbers. And he takes it in from 33.
He said this week, I'm just here to win. My catches will come. Well, today, they've come in bunches.
He's over the 100-yard mark on just 4 catches. Cody Latimer at 6'3", 215. He's got speed. He's got hops. We'll show you what he can do on the hardwood when we return. Well, it was just dumb luck this season that Cody Latimer didn't have a touchdown reception. Coaches said sometimes we're going the right hash instead of the left. This time they went to the left side, man coverage, and it paid off.
It really did. Over Cameron Truss, 33 yards, another strike by Nate Sutfeld, but Cody Latimer today has been awesome. 4 receptions for 103 yards in that first touchdown of the season. He's one of those guys that can really make you miss in space. He's got size at 6'3". Really good-looking athlete for Indiana.
You think Victor Oladipo is the best dunker in the building today?
I don't know. He's one of them, let's just say that.
Ronnie Moore takes the knee. Back in April, the football team found its way inside Assembly Hall for some fun, and with the dunk contest going on, Cody Latimer strapped on the GoPro camera. This is some impressive stuff. He's 6'3". You can almost hear the scream of Oladipo.
And they were having fun. He's a special player. He's one of those guys you have to find a way to get involved and be a centerpiece of this offense.
They've done that today. 18-point Indiana advantage. Bowling Green to keep it on the ground with Travis Green. He's got the edge, and his first down for the Falcons to pick up of nearly 13. Antonio Allen with the stop. Falcons will keep it no huddle, try to find some tempo here as they look for some points.
Plenty of time left in this football game for Bowling Green to go down, not to panic. They're down 28-10. Get some points in this drive and just try to get some rhythm back, establish that on the offensive side of the football.
Play action, trying to hit the bubble screen. And Ronnie Moore was a shoestring away from a big play. Michael Hunter able to bring him down.
I think if Moore gets a little bit better of a block by one of his teammates on the outside, he may go the distance there.
Second and 5. A little misdirection, but it stays straight ahead. And a hard-fought few yards for Travis Green. Greg Heben with the stop. Crazy day in the Big Ten. UCLA is back in front of Nebraska after 21 unanswered points.
Wasn't it 21-3 earlier in that game?
Yep.
We talked about third down opportunities and chances for Bowling Green. Last series, they tried to get it done. They converted on fourth down, but now only 3 of 11 on third down. They need one here.
Houston, the running back, needs 2 yards. Play action, got a man wide open. They go underneath, and that is good for the first down to Pullman, the fullback, but they had a tight end all alone.
I think it might have been Alex Baer. That was the tougher throw of the two. Watch this at the top of the screen. He's just going to go untouched, and that's just a blown assignment. Both guys go to the flat, and that tight end at the end of the line of scrimmage, if you throw a little touch pass, if you're Matt Johnson, that's 6 points.
Johnson steps back, throws on the run, and incomplete. Is he the type of quarterback that needs to be on the move, or like many would be much better if he just set up in the pocket?
I think he just needs to get some rhythm, Tom. I don't know if he's better on the move or better in the pocket, but I know once he has positive plays, like you can see here, he can distribute it all over the field. He's had more success underneath than he has down the field. You can see he hasn't completed a deep pass down the middle or the right side, but I think it's more timing for Matt Johnson. Throwing the ball in rhythm.
Out of the backfield to Green. Former wide receiver has stood up after a gain of 5. Green didn't like the way he got an extra shove on the Indiana sideline from David Cooper, who's getting a talking to.
That was a nice play by Cooper. The redshirt junior stood up Travis Green next to the sideline, and once they met, there was no forward progress. That was a good open field tackle by Cooper.
3rd and 5. Quick out. First down. Green tackled by Cooper. Time to take you back to the studio now. Check in with Dari.
Guys, we showed you early on Nebraska leading UCLA 21-3, but my, how things have changed. Now 21-10. Jordan James gets in, makes it a 21-17 game moments ago. Brett Hundley with a touchdown pass. Bruins 21 unanswered to take the lead. Michigan cannot get Akron off its backs. Up a little, guys.
Wow. I said crazy day in the Big Ten, and it continues. Bowling Green was the best chance for a MAC win in a Big Ten stadium today. Green cut down after gain of 4 by Mangieri, who's got a sack and a pick today.
Now it seems like that offensive line starting to lean a little bit on that defensive front for Indiana. Indiana has some size. They just put 4 fresh bodies out on the field for Bowling Green's offensive line to handle, but a little bit more rhythm and a little bit more progress running the football in this series.
Seems like they have been committed to the run in this series. A bullet out of the backfield trying to get it to Andre Gibbons. Too much mustard.
maybe just ball position, Tom. It was on that back hip. Anytime you're throwing to running backs, you need it to be a catchable football. And they're wearing out that short side with that high-low. The tight end's on the high corner, and that back's coming into the flat. The flat's there. Indiana's giving him that short pass, and I don't blame Matt Johnson for taking it. Maybe he just needs to locate that football a little bit better on second down.
10th play of the drive. It's a 3rd and 6. And they run it on 3rd and 6. Nowhere to go for Jordan Hopgood.
Tom, that call means they should go for it on 4th down.
Flo Harden and TJ Simmons with the stop. They keep the offense on the field. That call was designed
to get a couple. If they get the 1st down, great. But if they can make it a 4th down and 2 or 3, they'll take that as well.
And don't forget, Johnson can run it with this down and distance.
Somebody has to win versus man coverage.
To the outside again, wearing out that short side as you mentioned, and it's Bayer the tight end this time. 1st down, Falcons.
Good play design. We had the slant by the outside receiver, the tight end on that short diagonal route to the short side of the field. That time you could see Matt Johnson put the ball in the proper spot, and he was throwing to maybe more of a wide receiver tight end instead of a running back.
Indiana only rushes 4 again, but Johnson still has to scramble away. Throws on the run. There's a flag into the end zone and broken up on a looping play by Greg Heben. Burbrink was the intended receiver.
May have been a hold behind the play by one of the big offensive linemen.
Bowling Green's having a hard time blocking 4.
Holding, offense, number 55, 10-yard penalty, repeat 1st down.
Alex Huddle, the guy that was called on the holding play. Maybe this sometimes, right side, you can see it right here. There's the hold on the big fella, Green. Sometimes you got to make decisions to protect your quarterback, but you're going backwards closer to the 38-yard line now.
1st and 20. No luck out of the backfield for Travis Green. Maybe a couple. Bobby Richardson, junior out of Tampa's Plants High School at the stop.
I mentioned a few minutes ago, Tom, a lot of time in this football game. Well, Bowling Green's starting to lean on that time a little bit, and the scoreboard hasn't changed. So it's very important for the Falcons to get on the scoreboard here, get some points on this drive.
He's completed 75% of his passes on this drive. And he goes to the outside again, incomplete. Chris Gallen, the intended receiver. I'm not sure Indiana has blitzed once on this drive. They've brought 4 pretty much the entire time.
I think you're right. They've been trying to get fresh bodies in. Good rotation up front by the staff for IU defensively. They've been trying to keep the pressure on Bowling Green's offensive line, and I think you're going to see possibly 5 come on this play. They may not sell out to break down the pocket, but I think you want to try to pressure Matt Johnson into making a throw he doesn't want to make here.
They bring 6. Johnson on time, complete, shy of the 1st down, and a roll will make it just a yard short as Sean Joplin turns his body towards the marker. Heben and Hunter bring him down.
Nice protection by this offensive line. You mentioned the guys on defense bringing 6. IU trying to pressure the pocket, and that offensive line did a terrific job of allowing Matt Johnson to step up and find a wide open receiver. Now you got to give it to the big fella again in William Houston.
4th and short. Remember, they went play action in a similar situation to Pullman. He's the fullback. They do give it to the tailback. He is stopped and he will lose yardage. Houston ran into Bobby Richardson. And Bowling Green turns it over on downs for the second time today. That drive ate up 7 minutes and 14 seconds and nothing to show for it.
ESPNU College Football is brought to you by Ram Trucks, Guts, Glory, Ram, and Bass Pro Shops. Your adventure starts here.
Indiana University has secured the original prow from the battleship USS Indiana, which served in the Pacific during World War II, among many notable battles. Helped aid in the invasion of Iwo Jima. First and 10 for the Hoosiers, back on offense. And a completion for 11 yards out to Cody Latimer. Aaron Foster with the coverage for Bowling Green. Hoosiers have an 18-point lead, but they're not going to let their foot off the accelerator. They want to keep it moving, and they do so on the ground with Tevin Coleman, who rambles his way for 7.
That right side's been successful running the football behind Evans at that tackle position.
Ralston Evans making his 3rd consecutive start today in Eckert's place, and this is Wynn off to the races. Rylan Ward took him out of bounds for Bowling Green.
What an efficient day Sudfeld's had from the quarterback spot. Just when he's had time to throw and set those feet in the pocket, he's been decisive and he's been on target.
Approaching the 2-minute mark in the 3rd. Sudfeld slows it down just a little bit. Pumps once. Going deep, wide open, and a catch for a first down to Latimer. Well, what a great job running the defense off, running them deep, and they're going to keep on running here at this offense.
Well-designed play, and that's the patience from Cody Latimer. He let the first guy clear, and he's just going to settle down his route behind him in that soft spot in the zone. Terrific patience by Latimer, and that was a bullet by Nate.
Sudfeld had the pick between 3 receivers, one in the flat, one going deep, and then of course Latimer, he kept his feet, could have kept running. To the 20, and down to the 18 goes Coleman. DJ Lynch. Pontiac, Michigan native with the tackle.
funny, you watch this IU offense, and just like that, they go from maybe backed up in their own end, and now they're in the red zone where they needed to score touchdowns coming into this game, and they've done so.
Trips to the left for Sudfeld. Back in the belly of Coleman. And Coleman down the hash takes it to the 10. First down for Indiana.
Tom, it seems like a long time ago that this Hoosier offense was stymied inside the 5-yard line twice.
Coleman again. And he rolls his way to the 5. Paul Swan with the stop. Third quarter will come to an end, but the Hoosiers want to get off one more play.
They're going to take their time now, Tom.
Kevin Wilson happy to head to the 4th. Up on Bowling Green, 28-10 here in Bloomington. Well, I appreciate the effort, but that bed sheet needed to be ironed just a little bit. Bowling Green Falcons have been grounded in the second half. It's a 28-10 lead for Indiana as we start the 4th quarter. Tom Hart alongside John Congemi. Happy to have you with us today. An Indiana team looking for some redemption after losing to Navy last week. And only they slowed them down. Here's a run right into some pads and extra effort by Tevin Coleman. Sets him up at the 1-yard line. Twice in the first half, Indiana went for it on 4th and goal from the 1. Twice they were stopped. That's really the only time so far today the Hoosiers ran into trouble. Nate Sudfeld has played the majority of this game at quarterback. Trey Roberson has been used just a couple of times. And Sudfeld will keep it himself on the misdirection. And an Indiana rushing touchdown for Sudfeld, his first of the season.
Terrific drive by Nate Sudfeld, the quarterback. Doing a nice job of throwing it from the pocket and finishing this drive with his legs, the 1-yard touchdown run. He was efficient through the air, on time and on target. That time he uses his legs to get 6.
9-play drive for the Hoosiers to find the end zone. Coaches said they don't want to be one-dimensional. Last year they limited his runs and hits. This year it's just go play. Well, this was indeed a nice play for Sudfeld, who takes it himself. Knotthold Park alive and well here at Memorial Stadium in Bloomington. A lot of future Hoosiers out there rocking the candy stripes. Here's one way to keep all your wide receivers happy. Just play a game with about 17 different balls.
That's the place to be down there.
Indiana has scored a school record for points in consecutive games. 143 now through the first 3 games of this season. So would that kid be a Peyton Manning or an Andrew Luck fan as well?
2 good choices.
Moore takes a knee. Limited opportunities for returns here today for the Falcons of Bowling Green. A little extra pushing and shoving. Let's shove it now to Dari.
Guys, I tell you what, Akron and Michigan. Michigan up 21-17. Akron ball on the Michigan 41. Kyle Pohl to LT Smith. Touchdown. They called him down on the 1, actually. They're reviewing it. It may be a touchdown. If so, they have the lead late in the game at Michigan. We'll keep you posted. UCLA, 35 unanswered points. They're rolling in Lincoln, guys.
But Dar, you said Nebraska looked good. The shine is off the Huskers and Taylor Martinez. That one nearly picked. Brady Hoke, by the way, going back to what Dari was saying about Michigan, hasn't lost a home game as Michigan head coach. And Akron hasn't won a road game since 2008, and they may go find a win in the Big House.
That's amazing. I mean, after coming off such an emotional victory, the way they played against Notre Dame, naturally it's going to be a little bit of a letdown, but to let Akron come into the Big House and possibly take the lead late in the football game, that's a huge surprise.
Crazy day in the Big Ten. Maybe the MAC can get another one tonight. Down on the Bayou on ESPNU with Kent State going to LSU. Complete to the outside, scrambled, ball's on the ground, and looks like the Hoosiers were the first men on it. Indiana football.
Tom, you remember
Sean
I
Joplin
mentioned
was working hard for that first down.
You remember I mentioned it the last set of downs where Joplin needed to maybe have a little bit more urgency when he secures the football to take it and tuck it away. That time he was just trying to create and make a big play because he has that ability. But when you're doing that, you have to be aware of the traffic around you. You have to be able to know, hey, I've got the first down. Let me find a place to get down so we can keep this drive alive.
Zach Shaw recovered it. Stephen Houston now the tailback. And a sack allowed by the Indiana offensive line. Ted Ouellette found his way to Sudfeld. A loss of 5. Third sack of the day for the Falcons.
Looked like Nate Sudfeld was trying to go downfield, and Bowling Green brought some pressure from the short side of the field.
Houston gets thrown for a loss. Josh Pettis with the stop. Doubleheader of college football on ESPNU later today. First at 3:30. Paul Johnson takes his Jackets into Duke to take on the Blue Devils. And at 7, Kent State will travel to Death Valley to face SEC powerhouse LSU with Dree Archer back in action for Kent State. ESPN's primetime college football today at 3:30 and 7 on ESPNU. Both games also live on Watch ESPN. Pretty good numbers on third down for IU today. Sudfeld sets up the screen to Houston. Makes a man miss. Gets a great block. Trying to find the sideline. Houston still in bounds and finally shoved out of bounds inside the 10. Josh Pettis finally got him out of bounds.
Tom, you mentioned make somebody miss, and that's been the key not only for Tevin Coleman, the starter, but Stephen Houston, making guys miss, and the big plays created from making people miss in space.
Trey Roberson now in at quarterback on 1st and goal from the 10. Roberson, a third-year sophomore from Indianapolis out of Lawrence Central High School, broke his leg in the second game of the season last year. He will keep it. Stiff arm. And inside the 5.
The 5, Trey Roberson on the kick.
Sutton forced him out. Roberson got banged up first game of the season against Indiana State. Took a shot to the ribs. Probably could have returned, but it was a large lead for the Hoosiers in the second half, so they went easy on him. Now out of the pistol.
And this is something they tried earlier in the football game, inserting Trey when they got inside the 10-yard line, inside the red zone, give you that quarterback run threat.
He ran right into his running back, but still bounces into the end zone. The busted play ends up in 6 for Roberson. Stephen Houston had the best shot of bringing him down, and he's his teammate.
That could have been the best hit on that play, Tom, for Stephen Houston on Trey Roberson.
Brian Thomas is the injured Falcon, helped to his feet. How do you feel as a quarterback? How do you feel after that play?
You feel frustrated when it's happening, but you're allowed to laugh about it on the sidelines if you score 6 points, and that's exactly what Trey turned that into.
We said first one to 40 would win. And Indiana over 40 now on that touchdown run by Roberson. Indiana's offense is on a roll. Sudfeld set it up, coming back to the screenplay to Stephen Houston, and Roberson bounced off his own man and in.
ESPNU College Football is presented by Polaris. See the most complete lineup of off-road vehicles at Polaris.com. And in part by Buffalo Wild Wings, the official hangout for NCAA football.
That's Herman Wells, the 11th president of Indiana University. Signed every one of 62,621 diplomas awarded in his 9 years as president. Indiana may end up with 62,621 yards this season. Rushing up to take it at the 5, he forgot the football. Ronnie Moore has to turn around, and that's where he's greeted and creamed by some crimson. Let's check in once again with Dari. Crazy day in the Big Ten.
Guys, Akron was stopped short there on that play we showed you a bit ago, but they punch it in. Tyrell Goodman. They lead Michigan. Under 4 minutes to go now. Wolverines on the 15 and moving, but Akron, guys, 1-33 in their last 34 against FBS teams. 27 straight road losses. 1-23 all time against the Big Ten. You get the point. They lead Michigan by 3.
And 37-point underdogs. I would say somewhere Jerry Moore is smiling, but his Appalachian State team, in all seriousness, was a better team than what Akron has on the field. That is a major, major upset in the making. Chris Gallen for the first down. Bowling Green trying to find some rhythm.
trying to find better execution in their offense passing game in this second half.
To the perimeter again, this time for maybe 4. Ryan Burbrink out of DeMatha Catholic High School in Maryland with the catch. Over the middle, and another big grab. Down to the 40-yard line goes Sean Joplin. 21-yard gain.
That was a terrific catch by Joplin. We've talked about maybe better ball security. This time you have to have courage to go over the middle and give your body up like that.
Bowling Green keeping the pressure on. Coverage by Hunter on Chris Gallen, incomplete.
Matt Johnson, he's a gunslinger. He's going to sit back there and just try to will this team to score some points here down the stretch. 25 of 44, has the 1 interception, closing in on 250 yards passing.
Pressured again. Gets by a man. Will tuck it and scramble out of bounds. Being chased by Clyde Newton. I don't know why that guy's dressed as a cow. 3rd and 4. It's very Purdue of him, by the way. Here's a draw. Room for Gibbons, and he picks up the first down before being taken down by Heben. Bowling Green now moving the ball pretty well, John.
Tom, there's nothing else to be said, I guess. That's not even proper. He's excited.
Face mask on Johnson. That'll get him a first down. Zach Shaw reached up to try and make a play. The converted linebacker yanked him down.
Personal foul, face mask, defense, number 33. 15-yard penalty results in an automatic first down.
Big Ten coverage going crazy. Let's check in again with Dari.
I'll tell you what, guys, Michigan responded to falling behind. Under 4 minutes to go now, under 3 to go. Fitz Toussaint into the end zone. Wolverines with a 4-point lead. Akron ball. If Michigan loses, Tom, their fans may have a cow.
Johnson taken down from behind. Loss of 5 on the play.
When you have to worry about Matt Johnson the way he was tackled from behind, looked like that right knee may have collapsed underneath him.
Ryan Phillips got to him.
Good pressure from the outside by Phillips, but he gets entangled in the legs of the quarterback, Matt Johnson. It's like Johnson's coming off the field and going to take a play off.
The veteran Matt Shills now in at quarterback. The senior lets it go. Ice cold off the bench, and he fires a rocket complete to Chris Gallen. Shills threw 14 touchdowns but 12 picks last year. Disappointing quarterback play. Had the competition wide open in the spring and throughout fall camp. And a 5th-year senior from Arcadia, California. His 5th in school history with 50 touchdown passes, seeing the field for the first time today. 3rd and 6. On the slant, little dig route incomplete. Burbrink couldn't get his hands around it.
That's tough coming off the bench late in the 4th quarter with 8:53 left to go in this game, and he threw a laser for that first one, but the second one was just a little bit high. Maybe just touch that football to the short side of the field, make it a little bit easier catch for Ryan Burbrink. Now he needs to convert on 4th down.
They're 2 of 4 on 4th down today. They need to get it to the 19-yard line. Shills fires a long one to the outside, complete, but it will be a yard short. And Indiana stops them on 4th down for the 3rd time today. Tim Bennett with the coverage on Joplin. 42-10 IU. Memorial Stadium in Bloomington, Indiana. Hoosiers trying to go to 2-1 on the season and hand Bowling Green its first loss. Cameron Kaufman is now in at quarterback for IU. And he hands it off to Houston, and he is off to the races once again. Big play offense for Indiana. The ground game is red hot for the Hoosiers. Boo Boo Gates finally rides Houston out of bounds. Houston already had a 50-yard run today. Now this one for 60+.
And Tom, the only thing different on this run, it was off the left side instead of the right side. Huge 60-yard run for Houston. I know Tevin Coleman, he needs to be the workhorse, but he's got a backup in Houston.
155 yards today for Houston. Have you been surprised by the Hoosiers' running game?
Yes, I have, especially against this defense. This defense came into the game today 22nd in the country in rushing defense, #1 in the MAC. And today Houston and Coleman, and they put a 1-2 punch on the ground, 279, and total yards at 614. They're moving the football through the air and on the ground.
2 running backs at 129 yards or better.
False start offense, number 84, 5-yard penalty. It remains 2nd down.
It's Danny Friend as Indiana's going to the reserves for the 2nd time this season. They opened the year with a 73-35 win against Indiana State. 73 points they hung on the Sycamores. And in that game against Indiana State, Stephen Houston went for 158. This time it's Roberts. Pardon me, that was last year at Purdue for the career high for Houston. He went for 158. Roberson now at quarterback. 3rd and 17. Give to Roberts. A loss of a yard. DJ Lynch with the stop. When Kevin Wilson took over this program, they're coming off of a victory over Purdue to take home the Old Oaken Bucket. Ben Chappell, a longtime starter at quarterback, left. The offensive line, Chappell graduate, I should have said. The offensive line had to be rebuilt. They had some skill guys, but they weren't fantastic. They introduced a new quarterback. Trey Roberson played a lot as a freshman. And now, his 3rd year, he's really got it going. Roberts again. Flag on the play. Try to change direction. That's as big a face mask as you will see. Kendall Montgomery swung him all the way around. Two flags on the play. Is that a face mask or a shoulder pad?
I couldn't tell initially. It looked like the face mask from here, but he might have got the inside of the shoulder pad.
We have multiple fouls on the play. Holding offense, number 31. That penalty is offset with a personal foul, face mask, defense, number 91. Results in replaying 4th down.
Take another look here. Montgomery might have slid from the face mask to the shoulder pad. But in any event, they're going to replay 4th down.
Yeah, I don't think he ever got the face mask once we look at it on the review. Kaufman gets turned around and taken down. And they'll turn it over on downs. Brian Baird with the stop for Bowling Green. You're watching ESPNU College Football presented by Polaris. We thought we'd get some action today in a Big Ten stadium. Didn't come from Bowling Green, though. 42-10. Indiana just turned it over on downs, going for it with the big lead, keeping the offense on the field. And Fred Coppett, Conjemi, it's your guy from Fort Lauderdale out of St. Thomas Aquinas with his first carry.
That's my man, the freshman. He's only about 175, 180 pounds, but he has terrific quickness. He has a nice future at Bowling Green with the way he runs the football. Had a chance to coach him when he was a freshman and a sophomore at St. Thomas Aquinas. Great kid.
Once you got out of the way, he blossomed.
You know what? They all do.
2nd and 5. Coppett again, trying to work the right side. A couple of pretty good running backs coming out of Aquinas, huh? Your guy up in Wisconsin's not too bad.
Yeah, James White's doing pretty good, and turning from college to pro, Giovanni Bernard's doing his job at the Bengals.
Formerly of North Carolina. Third and 1. First down run for Coppett and past midfield. So we talked to begin this day that Bowling Green with a win here today could be on their way to a 6-0 start before going to Starkville and take on Mississippi State. That won't happen, but it doesn't necessarily mean that Bowling Green would be out of the running for a BCS bid at the end of the season. Northern Illinois lost to Iowa last year, a lower division Big Ten team, and still made it to the Orange Bowl. And Kent State was on pace to go, and they got blown out by Kentucky before losing to UNI. Now, it's not likely, obviously, especially Bowling Green hasn't necessarily shown us anything to today which would suggest they could run the table the rest of the way, but it's still possible.
And if they do, they're going to be led by this offense scoring a little bit more easily, you know, with bigger plays. They don't want to go 80, 90 yards. They have to create and generate bigger plays. But this defense is going to have to play more like it did the first 2 weeks and not like this. And this offense was a bad matchup because Indiana, the high tempo, high octane offense just wasn't a good match, a good fit as the game went on.
Coppett changes direction after being hit in the backfield, and his quarterback Shills, the 5th-year senior, is trying to throw some blocks out there for him. What can Shills show over the final, what would be 5 minutes of playing time for him?
Just don't turn it over. You know, try to operate the offense. You know, he has all the experience you need at the quarterback position, and this is really a time for him just to get some playing time, just in case something happens down the road to Matt Johnson, that he'll have some playing time underneath his belt. Even though he has the experience, there's nothing better than going to do it each and every Saturday.
Coppett turns to the left side, finds some room, and picks up the first down. Pretty good vision for Coppett.
Fred does a nice job of staying patient. He's one of those running backs as a freshman. You always want to create big plays, but that was a nice job of just staying patient, following your blocking, and getting some productive yards in doing so.
Shills off play action. Uncorks one complete to the sideline. Herb Colby, 3rd-year sophomore out of Delray Beach, Florida, out of American Heritage with the catch.
But if you're Indiana, Tom, all these points that were scored today and the amount of yards, you have to be happy if you're Kevin Wilson, because they got their young quarterback on track and they got their playmaker involved with Cody Latimer.
On the draw, Coppett goes straight ahead. Time to catch up with what's happening in the big house down to the wire. Dari?
Guys, the Michigan faithful, not quite an App State flashback, though I agree this would have been Far worse. Akron, last chance, 4th down, seconds to go. Receiver open, but is overthrown. Michigan brought the house and survives 28-24, guys.
Utterly disappointing.
You called it, Tom. You said something was going to happen today in the Big Ten, an upset.
From a MAC team.
From a MAC team.
So close. 3rd and 2 forthcoming for Bowling Green. Georgia Tech and Duke coming up next. Paul Johnson, a North Carolina native, is 15-2 in his home state. David Cutcliffe's Blue Devils await. This is also a good bounce back for Indiana, an Indiana team which got decimated by Navy last week. A lot of times, triple option coaches will tell you as that pass is batted and falls incomplete, there is a flag. I'll tell you, it's not just what we do on game day Saturday, but how our opponents react the next week. But Indiana came out, despite the loss, relatively healthy along their defensive front.
There is no foul for offensive pass interference as the ball never went beyond the line of scrimmage. 3rd down, incomplete pass.
Corrected to 4th down. Fourth and 2 from Matt Shills and Bowling Green. Indiana wants a timeout.
Indiana calls timeout.
Trying to set up a 4th down defense. We'll be back to Bloomington in a moment. We'll have to make a change at quarterback today. Brandon Connect will make his first ever start for the Blue Devils. They welcome Georgia Tech to town. We'll get you to Durham and Wallace Wade Stadium just as soon as we are finished here in Bloomington, Indiana. Didn't get the action we thought we'd have here today. Cody Latimer's mom happy to see her son have a great game. And Bowling Green going for it on 4th and 2. 1:16 to go at Memorial Stadium. Shills fires incomplete. And that will turn it over on downs. Kenny with the stop the freshman defensive end, David Kenny. This young Indiana defense had quite a showing today. They did not allow an offensive touchdown. Falcons' only score came on a blocked punt.
A lot of rotation up front for head coach Kevin Wilson in that defense. He said he would run probably 8, 9, 10 players in and out of that front. He kept his word, and they stayed fresh on the defensive side.
Bowling Green has held on to 3 timeouts here today. Luis Wilson, LeRae Smith with the coverage for the Hoosiers. With the run for the Hoosiers.
It's probably uncomfortable at the end of games, although it's reassuring to the offense that it's done its job at 42-10. But it's the most time you ever see an Indiana offense take is when they're in that victory formation.
Fourth quarterback to see action today is Nate Boudreau for Indiana. Second-year freshman out of Naperville, Illinois. Kevin Wilson's quarterbacks get the job done today, but primarily it was Indiana's running game. Awfully impressive all day for the Hoosiers. Bowling Green's only touchdown came on special teams. Falcons handed their first loss of the season. Indiana bounces back to go to 2-1. Duke and Georgia Tech are coming up next from Wallace Wade Stadium in Durham. Our final here today, Indiana 42, Bowling Green 10, now off to Duke.